Chapter 21, Opening Ceremony. After thinking for a while, he decided to name his channel as Soccer Wizard. Although the name sounded a little bit childish, yet he was quite proud of the name he had selected. Since football was mostly referred to as soccer in Japan, he chose soccer instead of football, even though he preferred football more. And even though he never believed in magic in his previous life, he had somehow magically regressed back in time. And since he had also gained a system, he considered himself something like a magician. That's why he decided to add wizard to the name of the channel. And with this, my channel is created, he exclaimed with a smile on his face. Watch your back, Mr. Beast. I'm gonna be the most subscribed YouTuber. Ha ha. He laughed maniacally. Alright, but that's not my goal. He came to a sudden realization, and the smile on his face faded away. My goal is to become the best footballer in the planet. And I'm only uploading videos as a means of making money for a short while. So I'll pass on becoming the most subscribed YouTuber. Consider yourself lucky, Mr. Beast, that I'm not doing YouTube seriously. You can keep your title, consider it my gift to you. He finished his sentence with a smug look on his face. He exclaimed as if he was doing a favor to Mr. Beast by not taking YouTube seriously. He was too haughty. Now that the channel is established, I should post my video. But what should I name the title? After creating his YouTube channel, he was about to post his video, but he couldn't think of a suitable title for the video. Little boy playing football? Nah. Juggling the ball for 500 times without dropping? Nah. Just what should I name the title? He exasperated. He couldn't come up with any decent name for the title. He kept on pondering over the name for the title. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't think of anything decent. Arg. Just why is it so hard to come up with a decent name for the title? Failing to come up with a decent name for the title, even after thinking for a while, he started to get frustrated. Just then he threw his phone aside and laid down on the bed with his face facing upwards. Right? I should make use of the knowledge of the future and decide the names which can act as a clickbait so that I can get a lot of views. As he was laying down on the bed, a sudden thought penetrated his mind. He then grabbed his phone and began to type. I scored 500 goals from 500 free kicks. After coming up with a title for his video, he posted his video and slept early. Hiro, are you still asleep? His mother made her way towards his room while yelling. But just as she entered his room, her eyes widened in shock. Oh, you're awake? She was shocked to find him awake. Usually he'd be sleeping around the time she walked into his room. But today he was awake, and not only was he awake, he was already dressed as well. Yeah, it's the match day today, he replied while packing his jersey. Match day? Isn't it holiday today? She mumbled. Yeah, match day? The prefectural tournament begins today. Didn't I already tell you about it? He replied. You did. But why are you going? I mean, you aren't even selected for the team. So why are you going? She bewilderingly questioned. Huh, who told you that I wasn't selected? He replied. Then why were you crying previously? What do you mean by crying? He stammered upon remembering the embarrassing moment when he cried in her arms. She noticed his flustered face and decided to change the topic. So you're selected for the team? Yeah, I'm the starting player. Where will the match take place? She questioned. It's going to take place in the community football stadium. The preliminaries will be held at the local football stadium, and the matches from round of 16 to semi-final will take place at the stadium of Sakura FC Football Club. And finally, the final match of the prefectural tournament will be held at one of the national stadium where the international games are played. After packing his bags, his mother dropped him off in school. Even thought the game started at 10 a.m. All of the starting players were required to show up in school before 8 a.m. to discuss tactics. Here comes our soccer wizard. Akashi greeted Hiro as he entered the auditorium. Just then, all of the players started to congratulate him all of a sudden. Hiro couldn't figure out why they were congratulating him for no reason. What's the occasion today? Why am I getting congratulated all of a sudden? Hiro was baffled by the sudden burst of congratulations. Coach Miura kept his cool and commanded everybody to get seated. After that, nobody dared to speak a single word. And then he began to explain the tactics. We'll be playing Endo as the sweeper keeper, and Hiro will be playing as a deep-line playmaker. For this tactics to work out, we need to get Hiro involved with the ball as much as we can. Did everybody understand what I'm trying to say? Yes, sir. Everybody shouted. Okay, then let's win the game today and progress forward. The coach ended the discussion after carefully explaining the tactics to everybody present in the auditorium. Then all of them started to board on the school bus to leave for the venue where the match was going to take place. Since Ukami Elementary School was a private school, it owned quite a number of school buses. And in fact, many of the students who studied at Ukami Elementary School commuted to and from school via school buses. Hiro couldn't take advantage of the facility provided by the school bus because of the remoteness of his neighborhood. The school buses didn't operate to his neighborhood because of the lack of students who studied in Ukami Elementary School from his neighborhood. And even though he was sponsored by the school, they couldn't still operate the school buses to his neighborhood for him alone. That's why he used to commute to the school via train. While they were commuting towards the venue of the match, Hiro looked at Akashi to inquire him about the earlier incident. But Akashi didn't seem well. He kept his eyes closed and lips sealed. He covered his mouth with one of his hands and grabbed his stomach with his other hand. He was suffering from motion sickness. Seeing him in that condition, he decided it would be better to keep his mouth shut for the time being. After commuting for about 15 minutes, they reached the venue where the match was going to take place. As soon as the bus stopped and opened its door, Akashi stormed outside. Yoa! Yoa! Akashi started to puke. However, he couldn't puke anything beside liquid. His stomach was completely empty. There wasn't even a single solid substance in his stomach to make its way outside his mouth. Coach, I'll catch up in a while, he exclaimed while looking at the coach. The coach took a peek at Akashi's condition and agreed to his request. Okay, but come fast. The coach and other players started to head inside the stadium. However, assistant coach Honda decided to stay back to keep an eye on them. Here, have some water. Hiro handed a bottle of water to Akashi. Yoa, thanks for the water. After drinking some water, Akashi felt a little better. His complexion returned back to normal, and his puking stopped as well. Are you alright? Hiro inquired. Yeah. Then shall we head inside? Akashi nodded his head. They started to head inside the venue. Since it was their first time in that venue, they didn't know where to go. And if not for Honda-san, they'd have directly entered the pitch without even changing their clothes. They managed to find the changing room with Honda-san's assistance. The opening ceremony is about to begin, so change your clothes ASAP. The coach exclaimed. Except Hiro and Akashi, everybody in their team had changed their clothes. Without uttering a single word, both of them got dressed instantly. Akashi, how did you know about the name of my YouTube channel? I'm sure that I haven't told you about it. Oh, about that you're quite FOMO. You two keep quiet. It's our turn to enter the pitch. Coach Miura interrupted as Akashi was about to say something. And as they made their way towards the pitch, Hiro noticed something unusual. There were surprisingly a lot more spectators in the stand, even though the tournament was an elementary school level tournament. There were about 700-800 people in the stand. That number was very huge for something like an opening ceremony of a prefectural tournament for elementary school kids. In comparison to previous year's opening ceremony, which recorded about 100 spectators, current estimation of 700-800 spectators was astronomical. Why is there so many people in the stand? Hiro whispered. For you. Huh, I didn't quite get that. You seriously don't know about anything? Akashi inquired, bewilderingly. To his inquiry, Hiro simply shook his head. Chapter 22. Karasuno's number 7. About 32 schools participated in the tournament that year, and those 32 teams were further divided into 8 groups, with each group consisting 4 teams. Again, the 8 groups were further divided into 2 segments, with each segment containing 4 groups each. And due to the large number of schools, that year's tournament was going to be played in the World Cup format. However, instead of a league format for the group matches were going to be played in knockout format as well. Whoa, there's a lot of team participating in the tournament this year. Hiro mumbled. Indeed, there's a lot of team participating in the tournament this year. But the favorites remains the same, Karasuno Elementary School and Rondon Elementary School. And even worse, were placed in the same group as Karasuno Elementary School. Just why God? Akashi whined. Just as the announcer called out the name of the final team to participate in the tournament, someone from that team caught his attention. The final team to walk into the pitch was none other than Rondon Elementary School, the same school which once tried to recruit him. And the person who caught his attention was none other than Kurosawa Taki. Hiro was left dumbfounded by the sight of Kurosawa Taki. Hiro! Akashi called out for him, but there was no response from him. He kept on staring at Kurosawa Taki. Yeah. He stammered upon coming back to his senses. Are you alright? Yeah, I'm fine. Perhaps, did you see a ghost? Huh, hell no. Why do you ask such absurd questions? Well, I mean, you look kinda lost to me. So I wondered if you saw a ghost. It's nothing like that. Let's just focus on the announcement ahead. Hiro shrugged off Akashi's curiosity. But I don't get one thing. There are so many teams participating in the tournament. So how will we complete all those matches today? Akashi inquired. I'm sure that the coach had explained us about that previously. Didn't you pay any attention to his words when he was explaining about the tournament fixtures? Hiro replied while contorting his face. I must have missed that information. Akashi smiled awkwardly. Sigh. Group A, B, C and Group D's first matches will be played today in 4 different venues. Group E, F, G and Group H's matches will be played tomorrow respectively. So in total, a total of 8 matches will be played today. And another 8 match will be played tomorrow. Hiro exclaimed. There's 3 more venues beside this stadium? Akashi questioned. Yeah, there are 3 more venues beside this stadium. Since all the teams were required to gather at one place before the start of the tournament, every team participating in the tournament are gathered at this venue for the commencement of the tournament. After the announcement ended, the first match of the tournament between Karasuno Elementary School and Tokushima J Elementary School was about to begin, and the rest of the teams headed towards their respective venue as well. Hiro's team, being in the same group as Karasuno Elementary School, remained seated in the stadium while awaiting their match. Their match would begin right after the end of the match between the Karasuno Elementary School and Tokushima J Elementary School. Beep. The referee has blown his whistle and the 15th annual prefectural tournament officially begins. The announcer announced the commencement of the tournament. With that announcement, the stadium was filled with the cheers of the spectators. Most of the spectators consisted of the parents of students who were taking part in the competition. There were few local reporters in the stand along with the general publics. Go all gall. That's why they are one of the favorites of the tournament. Karasuno Elementary School opened up the score sheet with a goal in the 17th minute of the game. The stand where the students of Karasuno Elementary School were seated burst out with cheers as they scored the goal. Before the end of the halftime, they scored another goal. The first half of the match was pretty much one-sided with Karasuno Elementary School dominating both the position and shots on target. The second half was no different than the first half. Tokushima J Elementary School got completely battered by Karasuno Elementary School as they went on to win the match by an astronomical score of 5-0. Even though every players in Karasuno Elementary School displayed an amazing performance individually, one player stood out among the rest. The player with a number 7 on his back. Contrary to his diminutive figure, he played as a striker and scored 2 headers. Almost everybody in the stand questioned every time when an air ball was played to him. They all thought that he wouldn't be able to reach the ball, and he'd get swallowed by the tall defenders of Tokushima J Elementary School. But contrary to everybody's expectation, he proved everyone wrong with his incredible vertical jump and lightning speed. He silenced all the critiques with his gameplay. Short black messy hair, suntan brunette skin and height that was barely 3.5 feet. His explosive jumps reached the ball, which even the tall defenders of Tokushima J Elementary School struggled to reach. On the 17th minute of the game, one of his teammates played a razor-sharp through ball, which couldn't be reached by anybody besides him. Making use of his explosive pace, he opened up the score with a banger. Everybody thought that his only weapon was his speed. But soon he proved everybody wrong by scoring 2 more goals in the second half. And surprisingly, both of those goals happened to be headers. Whoa, what an amazing way to kick off the tournament. Karasuno Elementary School completely obliterated Tokushima J Elementary School and won the match with 5-0 score. And even more amazing was the performance of the player Shinji Shoyo, the player of Karasuno Elementary School with the number 7 on his back. He scored a hat-trick in his first match. If he keeps on scoring like this in other matches, he'd surely score more than 10 goals by the end of the tournament. Damn, how will we face against Karasuno Elementary School? Akashi started to get flustered all of a sudden. Did you already forget that we still have a match to play? Before facing against them, we need to get through this hurdle first. Hiro replied. Okay team, it's our turn to play. We'll play just like we've practiced. Just keep your calm and play without getting anxious. Coach Miura exclaimed as they were about to enter the pitch. And the second match of the Group A is between Ukami Elementary School and Public Youth Elementary School. Surprisingly, both of these teams are new to the Nationals. And even more surprising is the fact that both of these new teams are facing against each other in their debut match. Public Youth Elementary School is going for a 5-3-2 formation, which emphasizes more on defense, and Ukami Elementary School is going to play in a 4-4-2 diamond formation, which focuses more on the offense. So who'll come out victorious? Will defense win the game, or will offense win the game? It's a show-off between defense and offense. Beep. The second game of Group A between Ukami Elementary School and Public Youth Elementary School commenced with the sound of referee's whistle. As referee blew his whistle, Kuro passed the ball to Sato. The opponent team, instead of pushing forward, dropped back from the moment of kickoff. Huh? Is this some kind of new tactic? The players of Public Youth Elementary School are dropping deep right from the beginning of the kickoff. They aren't even coming out of their own half to win the ball. Chapter 23. Phil. As the opponent team dropped deep, they couldn't take the ball forward recklessly. However, since they were a new team, the opponent team didn't have any information regarding Ukami Elementary School's team, and hence they were not aware of one crucial information. Hiro was a fantasista whose speciality was to break through solid defense line, just like Public Youth Elementary School's defense. And since most of the players in the Public Youth Elementary School stayed close to each other, Hiro could easily dribble past their defenders one after the other. Number 10 from Ukami Elementary School is charging the ball forward without any fear. Hiro began to dribble the ball forward. As he dribbled the ball forward, the opponent players were forced to come out of their respective zones to defend against him. Upon seeing him charging forward, one of the offensive player recklessly dashed towards him in an attempt to snatch the ball away from him. However, before he could even attempt to stretch his legs forward, Hiro dribbled past him. While charging towards Hiro, he left his legs wide open and Hiro took full advantage of the gap between his legs. Just as he approached near to Hiro, he kicked the ball between his legs and nutmegged him. The nutmeg happened so fast that he didn't even realize he was nutmegged. That was a beautiful nutmeg from the number 10 of Ukami Elementary School. Ha, and it looks like the number 9 of Public Youth Elementary School is still in daze. Ha. The look on the face of number 9 was a sight to behold. An anonymous spectator cheerfully exclaimed. Just like the commentator, a lot of people in the stand were laughing at that ridiculous nutmeg from Hiro. After effortlessly passing through that number 9, he was faced with even more defenders of the opposing team. But since they came out of their respective zones to defend against him, several spaces were left open. While making use of those spaces, Hiro passed the ball forward towards Sato. However, the defenders of the public youth elementary school were quick to react to his passes. As soon as the ball was released from his legs, they began to run towards Sato. In the right wing, Sato was about to shoot the ball, but he paused as he witnessed the opposing defenders closing towards him. While the opposing defenders were rushing towards Sato, they completely forgot about Hiro. Sato faked his shot and passed the ball straight in the middle. For a moment, it seemed that the ball would land in the feet of opposing player. But out of nowhere, someone else kicked the ball while the ball was still rolling. The person who kicked the ball was none other than Hiro. The moment he passed the ball to Sato, he had already begun running. Outside the stadium, two individuals were rushing towards the stadium in a hurry. Look, we're already late for his match. Hiro's mother pouted. Hiro's father checked his watch, and it was only 12:16 p.m. We're only 1 minute late. Hiro told me the match would start at 12:15. Takashi replied. Huh, he told you about the match? Was I the only one who was kept in the dark? And who even needs a beer in a kid's game? Her face started to turn red as she released the accumulated anger inside her. Go all goal. With lightning speed, the ball landed on the upper right corner of the goalpost. At 1 minute and 57 seconds, Hiro scored the opening goal in the second match of Group A. It hadn't even been 2 minutes since the start of the match, and yet he already scored a goal. Within 2 minutes, Ukami Elementary School have opened the scoresheet. And they've opened the scoresheet in a style of their own. The keeper couldn't even react, and the looks on the faces of public youth elementary school's players says everything about that goal from the number 10 of Ukami Elementary School. It was simply fabulous. Sho, I think I heard something right now. Takashi tried to silence his wife. Yeah. Now you're making things because you don't want to hear my voice. His mother raised her voice even more. No, it's not like that. Just try listening once. I'm sure you'll hear it too. Just then the crowd burst out in cheers. The cheers of the crowd were so loud that it could be heard from the parking lot outside the stadium. After listening to the loud cheers coming from inside the stadium, Akashi and Momo rushed towards the stadium in a hurry. As they entered the stadium, they witnessed something extraordinary. The atmosphere around the stadium was extremely lively. Honey, are kids' game this popular? His mother bewilderingly questioned upon witnessing the sights of huge number of spectators in the stand. As much as I know, there shouldn't be this much spectator for a kid's game. Takashi mumbled in awe. Perhaps we may have accidentally entered the wrong venue. Takashi mumbled. But the score sheet says Ukami Elementary School and Public Youth Elementary School. Momo pointed towards the score sheet. Indeed it does. Takashi nodded his head. But where is Hiro? His mother questioned. Takashi began to look for his son in the pitch. Far in the right corner, he noticed someone who resembled his son. Isn't that Hiro? He pointed his finger at Hiro. It is indeed Hiro. But what is he doing? I think he's celebrating. As he scored the goal, he performed the trademark celebration of Christian Romero, the Su celebration. The reason why he performed that celebration was because of Akashi. While he and Akashi were talking with each other, Akashi jokingly asked him to perform the trademark celebration of his favorite player. I think he scored a goal. Since they were in the opposite corner, they couldn't see him well. And surprisingly, they happened to walk in the stands where the supporter of opponent teams were seated. He scored a goal. But why are these people not celebrating his goal? His mother questioned. As she mentioned about the celebration, the people around them gave them cold stares. Their icy cold gaze sent shiver down Takashi's body. Honey, it's better to keep your mouth shut for a while. Let's head over to some other seat. Takashi pushed Momo and began to walk towards the seat where the cheers were louder. Why are you pushing me? Sho, they're not celebrating the goal because they are the supporters of the opponent team. So we should head towards the seat with supporters of our team. Akashi whispered softly. The game resumed with a score of 1-0. The opponent team continued to play defensive football, and Hiro continued to toy with their defense. While most of the supporters were thoroughly entertained by his gameplay, the supporters from Public Youth Elementary School didn't seem to enjoy his gameplay. Just few minutes after scoring his first goal, he scored another goal. And at the 30th minute of the game, he assisted a wonderful goal to Kuro. There's simply no stopping to Ukami Elementary School. And there's simply no stopping to number 10 of Ukami Elementary School. He toyed with the players of Public Youth Elementary School as if he was playing against kids. I mean, they are kids, and he himself is a kid too. Ha ha. Just what is the coach doing? Just mark that number 10 kid. Even us supporters could see clearly that number 10 is the real threat from Ukami Elementary School. The supporters of Public Youth Elementary School started to vent their anger and frustration. Even though it was a kid's game, the supporters of Public Youth Elementary School were extremely frustrated to see their side losing 3-0 before halftime. Just who is that number 10 kid? One of the supporter of Ukami Elementary School who was seated next to Takashi mumbled. He's my son Takahashi Hiro. Takashi proudly exclaimed with his chest stretched out. He's your son? But he doesn't look anything like you. The supporter bewilderingly questioned. Cough. Well, because he takes after his mother more. Takashi exclaimed nervously. The supporter didn't reply anything at all and looked at him with eyes full of doubt. He was clearly doubting his claim. Takashi then pulled out his wife and exclaimed, "Do you still not believe me?" The supporter took a peek at his mother. However, the expression on his face said otherwise. He was mesmerized by his mother's beauty. "Yo, she's my wife, so don't you dare think anything weird. And also you better drop that expression of your face before you get punched by her. I'll warn you, she's a black belt in karate." Hearing that she was a black belt in karate, he quickly took his gaze away from her. "Now that you mention about it, he does look like your son," he exclaimed in a flustered tone and finally agreed to Takashi. Chapter 24, Overnight Celebrity. While the first half was already disappointing for Public Youth Elementary School, the second half was even more devastating. They conceded 4 more goals in the second half and lost the game with a combined score of 7-0. Beep. And the referee has blown his whistle. In the beginning of the match, I mentioned about the clash between defense and offense. And the offense has come out victorious after crushing the defense with a humiliating score of 7-0. The looks on Public Youth Elementary School's players doesn't look very good. However, these kids have shown their absolute best, so I request everyone in the crowd to cheer them up as they walk down the aisle. Yeah, you all have played really well. Well played. Clap, clap, clap. The supporters from the stands started to cheer for the players of Public Youth Elementary School even after losing the match. As mentioned by the commentator, the players from the Public Youth Elementary School really gave their absolute best against Ukami Elementary School. However, one single player completely obliterated their whole tactics all by himself. What an amazing performance by Ukami Elementary School. But I'm sure that they wouldn't have been able to dominate the match like they did if it weren't for the number 10 of Ukami Elementary School. Goals, assists, dribbles, just name it, he's got everything. He himself scored 5 goals in a single match and provided 2 assists on top of that. He was involved in all 7 goals of the Ukami Elementary School. Shinji Shoyo from Karasuno Elementary School showed us a brilliant performance a moment ago, and now Takahashi Hiro from Ukami Elementary School showed us another brilliant performance. I just can't wait to see the clash between Karasuno Elementary School and Ukami Elementary School 3 days from today. Even though Karasuno Elementary School are considered one of the favorites of the tournament, it wouldn't be easy for them to get past against Ukami Elementary School. If they've got a little giant in their team, then Ukami Elementary School's got a combination of Messi and Romero of their own in their team. You really hit that Su celebration. I thought that you didn't like Romero. Akashi exclaimed as Hiro approached him after the end of the match. Who said that I don't like Romero? Hiro bewilderingly questioned Akashi. Well, you support Barcelona, so I thought you hated Real Madrid. So I naturally assumed that you didn't like Romero as well. Well, just because I support Barcelona doesn't mean that I hate Madrid, and I very much enjoy seeing him play. Why would I hate such a great player? And as an upcoming player myself, I don't want to limit myself with only one play style. Hiro exclaimed. While he was celebrating with his teammates, he caught a sight of someone familiar in the stand. While looking at them, he raised his fist and pointed it towards them with a smile on his face. The person to whom he pointed his fist was none other than Takashi and Momo. Takashi returned back the gesture by raising his fist towards him. He couldn't look more proud. He was brimming with proudness. He's really your son. The same spectator who didn't believe his words earlier exclaimed. Obviously he's my son. He spoke with a grin on his face. Just as the players of Ukami Elementary School were exiting the stadium, they were greeted with the sights of groups of local reporters who were waiting for them outside the stadium. Did a celebrity show up? Hiro bewilderingly questioned. Yeah, and you're that celebrity. Don't you all agree? Ha ha ha. Takashi chuckled. The rest of the teammates nodded their head in agreement as they let out a cheerful laugh in unison. Yeah. If scoring 5 goals in some kid's tournament is going to make somebody a celebrity, then there'd be a celebrity in every stadium. Hiro replied. Well, first of all, let alone scoring 5 goals, scoring a single goal is also very difficult. And they're probably not here because of some kid's tournament. It's because of your YouTube channel. Akashi exclaimed. How my YouTube channel? Hiro bewilderingly questioned. Did you not check your channel before coming to the school? Akashi inquired. Well, I only posted my video yesterday, so what difference would it even make? Upon hearing the words of Hiro, Akashi pulled his phone out and began to type something. See here, isn't this you? Akashi started to play the video of Hiro, which he posted on the YouTube. Well, yeah, it's me. So what about my video? Look at the views. Akashi replied. As he turned his gaze towards the total views, he began to count. Ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s, 100,000s. What? 547,000 views. Hiro's eyes widened in shock and his jaws dropped. He couldn't believe the figure he witnessed. There was 547,000 views in his video in less than 24 hours. The first ever video he posted in his YouTube channel went viral in less than 24 hours of posting. Am I dreaming? Hiro questioned. Ouch. Akashi pinched him all of a sudden. Why did you do that? Hiro exasperated. Hara, I thought that you needed some help. Akashi chuckled. Soccer wizard? Soccer wizard? Can you spare some time for a short interview? The reporters flocked over him with camera, and microphones facing towards him. All of a sudden, he found himself in the limelight. He couldn't reply anything. Even though he was a 27-year-old from the inside, he had never faced such situations even in his previous life. For his whole life, he lived like somebody who was ostracized by the society. In his previous life, he was just an extra player in the field without anything exceptional. Thus, he couldn't react properly. Upon receiving the spotlight, all of a sudden, upon getting swarmed up by the reporters, he started to get anxious. He started to sweat profusely and began to have nervous breakdown. Receiving the spotlight, all of a sudden, he started to have anxiety attacks. Could you all please move those cameras and microphones away from him? He's still a child. Takashi came to his rescue. Upon seeing his father, he could finally feel at ease. However, Takashi couldn't handle the reporters properly, as they still forced their way towards him. Y'all just leave my son alone before I break your camera and microphones. His mother came to their rescue as the situation seemed like it was getting out of hands. After listening to the threat of his mother, the reporters began to back down. Thank you for your understanding. And if you'd like to interview him, kindly book an appointment with his agent first. His mother exclaimed. Who's my agent? Did the school provide me with an agent? Hiro was baffled by the claims of his agent. Our channel would like to interview him. So ma'am, would you kindly tell us the number of his agent so that we can talk business? One of the female reporters stepped forward while asking for the contact information of his agent. Yes, why not? She then began to provide them with the contact information of his agent. Having been curious of his agent, he paid utmost attention to his mother's words. While he was keenly listening to his mother's words, the number which she provided the reporters felt a little too familiar to him. Isn't that mom's phone number? Huh, my mother is my agent. Hiro was shocked to find out that his mother was acting as his agent. I'm sure she made this agent stuff out of nowhere. She must have smelled the smell of money. Hiro mumbled with a blank look on his face. He then took a peek at his father's face. He had the same dumbfounded expression. There was something written all over his face. Seriously? That was the word written all over his face. Just like him, his father was left dumbfounded by her words. But seriously, what should I do with my social anxiety? Now that my video has gone viral, I'll face even more reporters as time progresses. I need to build up my confidence and prepare myself thoroughly for the future. His eyes glowed with determination. Let's go, Mr. Popular. Akashi exclaimed as the reporters cleared a path for them. After that, they boarded the school bus and left for school, while Takashi and Momo headed home. He couldn't leave with his mother and father as they needed to analyze the game of Karasuno Elementary School. Since they'll be facing against Karasuno Elementary School in the round of 16, they needed to prepare well. After all, Karasuno Elementary School was one of the favorites to win the tournament, and they couldn't face against them half-heartedly. If they wanted to win the match, they were required to thoroughly prepare for the match. While they were heading towards school, the coach of Karasuno Elementary School gathered his players in a dark room. Why are we gathered in the video analyzing room, coach? One of the players of Karasuno Elementary School inquired. To analyze our next opponent, Ukami Elementary School. The coach of Karasuno Elementary School exclaimed. Ukami Elementary School? Never heard of it. Ha ha ha. The players of Karasuno Elementary School burst out in laughter as the coach of the Karasuno Elementary School mentioned the name of Ukami Elementary School. Chapter 25. Bonus chapter, Shoyo's Past. While every player in the video analyzing room of Karasuno Elementary School were making fun of Ukami Elementary School, there was a single player in the room who didn't show any interest in his teammates' mockery, seated with his legs crossed in the far left corner of the room, all by himself. Unlike his fellow teammates, he didn't let out a single laughter. Ha ha. Just send us to the damn final already. Nobody except Rondon Elementary School can take us. Don't you agree, Shoyo? One of the players of Karasuno Elementary School arrogantly stated. The silent person who was seated at the far left corner of the room was none other than Shinji Shoyo. Just like Hiro, Shoyo was considered a prodigy by the coaches of Karasuno Elementary School. And even though he was at his 4th year of elementary school, it was his first tournament. Because of his medical condition, his parents took him to US for treatment. One day, during his 1st year of elementary school, while playing football, he suddenly collapsed. Upon witnessing his collapse, the staff members rushed towards him and took him to the nurse. The nurse tried everything in her knowledge, but he couldn't regain his senses. Fearing that something serious might have happened to him, the faculty members informed his parents. Upon hearing the condition of their son, his parents rushed towards the school and took him to the hospital. As the doctor started to run some tests on him, it was known that there was a tumor growing in his head. He was suffering from brain tumor. Due to the unusual location of the tumor and lack of the technology required for the surgery to remove the tumor, the doctor in the hospital raised their hands up and suggested his parents to take him to US for further medical treatment. His parents burst out in tears after hearing the words of Doctor. His father, who used to own large corporations, took him to US for further treatment. Since money wasn't a problem for his family, he got the necessary treatment in reputed hospital of US. The surgery went well, and the doctors in the US successfully removed the tumor from his head. However, he stayed back in US for further treatment and recovery. After recovering enough and spending nearly 2 years in US, he returned back to Japan with his mother. His father couldn't stay by his side all the time because of his business and left after a while. His mother stayed back in US with him and took care of him. And finally, after recovering completely, he started to play football once again. Even though he couldn't play football for almost 3 years, he still regained back his skills within some months because of his talent. Slam. Silence. Now I'm going to play the video of the match between Ukami Elementary School and Public Youth Elementary School, so everybody pay attention now. The coach slammed the table in front and yelled at his players to quiet down. All of the players instantly shut their mouth as they heard the roar of their coach. And Yushoda, sit down. The coach ordered the players standing beside Shinji Shoyo to sit down. The smile on his face quickly faded away as he heard his coach's yell, and without uttering a single word, he pulled his chair forward and sat down quietly. The coach then started to play the video of the match between Ukami Elementary School and Public Youth Elementary School. What? They all dropped deep from the beginning of the match. Are they going to play a defensive game for the entirety of the match? One of the players inquired. Now pay attention to that number 10 who's taking the ball forward. The coach paused the video just at the moment when Hiro was charging the ball forward. What's so special about him? Yeah, I don't see anything special in him. However, their keeper is ridiculously small. Ha ha ha. The players of Karasuno Elementary School whispered between themselves while making fun of Endo's height. Even though they didn't show their true feelings up front, it was clear that they were still taking Ukami Elementary School very lightly. Huh, seriously? What the hell was that? He dribbled past all those defenders all by himself and scored a ridiculous goal too. All of their eyes widened in shock. They couldn't believe the fabulous goal scored by Hiro. Sho, quiet down. Let's watch the whole footage first. And at the end of the video, I want everybody to present me with their analysis. Also, for the entirety of the match, pay a close attention towards that number 10 of Ukami Elementary School. The coach exclaimed as he paused the video. At the end of the video, the looks on the face of every player completely changed. At the beginning of the analysis, they were all arrogant and cheerful. But at the end of the video, all that was left was the feeling of hopelessness. Even after the end of the video, nobody dared to utter a single word. The room was unusually silent. Meanwhile, in Hiro's house, his parents were having a heated discussion between themselves. I never thought that Hiro was interested in YouTube. Takashi exclaimed in disbelief. Yeah, me too. I thought that he was only interested in football. Momo replied. Also, what did you talk about with the reporters? Takashi questioned. Nothing much. They wanted to interview Hiro, so I just gave them my contact information. Ring, ring, ring. Just then, Momo's phone started to ring. Wait, let me pick up this call. Hello? Mrs. Takahashi speaking. She picked up the call. Hello? Mrs. Takahashi, I'm Suzum, the female reporter from before who spoke with you regarding the contact information of Takahashi Hiro's agent. The reporter from before introduced herself. Oh, hello, Suzum-san. How can I help you? I was wondering about if we could interview Hiro tomorrow. The reporter expressed that she wanted to interview Hiro. Momo hesitated to reply. She began to think of excuses to turn down her proposal. Just then the reporter spoke something which caught her attention. Obviously, we'll pay for the interview. So would you like to discuss about the payment? As soon as she heard about money, she couldn't retain back herself from agreeing to her proposal. Where will the interview take place? Momo replied with a smile on her face. We'll perform the interview at the school. But will the principal agree? Momo questioned. You don't have to worry about that, ma'am. We'll take care of it. If you say so, then it's okay. Now then, shall we talk about money? Hee hee. She exclaimed with a wry smile on her face. What's with her obsession with money? Takashi thought as he witnessed her cunning grin. Meanwhile, in school, Hiro was fiddling around with his phone while being seated at the middle row of the auditorium. Sigh? While looking at his phone, he revealed a deep sigh. He looked extremely troubled, as if something was gnawing on him. Seeing his troubled expression, Akashi approached him. What's the matter with you now? Akashi was concerned about his well-being. Now that I've got 70k subscriber in less than 24 hours and gained 580k views, I can monetize my channel. Hiro exclaimed. Isn't that a good thing? But why do you look troubled instead? Akashi bewilderingly questioned. I haven't told my parents about my YouTube channel. And I'm still a child, so I can't even monetize the channel. And if I want to monetize my channel, then I'll need to ask one of my parents to handle the channel. Then just ask your parent? You don't know my mom. If she finds out that I'm making YouTube videos instead of studying, she will simply bake me alive. He started to turn pale as he began to imagine different scenarios of revealing the presence of his YouTube channel to his mom. Just then, Coach Miura made his way towards the auditorium with assistant coach Honda accompanying him. Honda-san was carrying a remote in his hands. Chatter, chatter. Silence everybody. Now we'll be analyzing the match of Karasuno Elementary School. I'm sure that you've already watched their match in the stadium while they were playing. But now we'll thoroughly analyze their weaknesses and strengths so that we can prepare well against them. Coach Miura exclaimed and gestured Honda-san to start the video. However, unlike the players of Karasuno Elementary School who mocked their opponents even before the start of the match, The players of Ukami Elementary School were serious about winning against Karasuno Elementary School. If it were before the arrival of Hiro, the atmosphere around Ukami Elementary School might have been different. Let alone win against Karasuno Elementary School, they would be whining and cursing their fate for being placed in the same group as Karasuno Elementary School, which they did previously when it was announced that they were placed in the same group as Karasuno Elementary School. But after their first win against Public Youth Elementary School, their mindset had totally changed. Chapter 26. Concerns of a Father. After thoroughly analyzing the footage of the match of Karasuno Elementary School, Coach Miura dismissed the meeting. One by one, everybody started to head home. However, Hiro couldn't leave for home immediately, as he would have to still wait for his parents to pick him up. And thus, after bidding his goodbye to Akashi, and while everybody started to head home, he started to walk towards the pitch. "Where are you going, Hiro?" Honda-san called out for him. "I'm going to the pitch. Since I'll have to wait for my parents to show up, I wanted to kill some time by kicking the ball on the field." Hiro exclaimed. "You don't have to do that today. I already informed your parents before the start of the meeting, and they should already be here. So go home." Honda-san gave him a gentle push. As mentioned by Honda-san, he found his father waiting for him outside the entrance. Usually it would be his mother who'd pick him up, but surprisingly it was his father today who came to pick him up. "Dad, you're here," Hiro exclaimed as he approached his father. "Yeah, your mom's kinda busy with something today, so I'm here in her stead. By the way, you played really well today." Takashi praised him for his earlier performance. "Now then, shall we head home?" Hiro nodded his head as they left for the train station. While they were inside the train, they talked about his earlier performance. Takashi couldn't look more proud of his achievements. "Where are you going, Dad?" "Our home is another direction." Hiro pointed towards the path to their home as Takashi took the wrong turn. "I know, just follow me for a while," Takashi exclaimed. After that, Takashi took him to a sports store. "Dad, why are we here?" Hiro was baffled by his father's unusual behavior. "Go and pick the cleats you like," Takashi nonchalantly exclaimed. In disbelief, Hiro took a peek at his father's face. However, he looked really calm and composed. He meant what he said, and he wasn't joking about buying him new cleats. "Thank you, Dad." He stormed inside the store after thanking his father. He got himself a pair of classic Adidas Predator boots in red color with black stripes. The boot was quite expensive and costed his father about 28,000 yen, roughly $200. If it were any other time, he would have complained about the price of the boot. But since today was a special occasion, he didn't hesitate to buy him the cleats which he selected. While on his way to home, he and his father talked about a lot of things. He felt closer to his father at that moment than he did in his whole life in his previous life. "Don't tell your mother about the price of the boot. If she finds out that I bought you such an expensive boot, she'll cut my pocket money for an entire month," Takashi exclaimed with a worried expression. "Don't worry, Dad. I won't tell her, Dad." After listening to the words of his son, Takashi chuckled. Just then, as he took a peek at his son, his smile faded away. "You've matured way too early in your life. Sometimes when I talk to you, I feel like I'm talking with a grown-up adult person. Maybe it's because of your useless father. You were forced to mature so early in your life. If only I could provide you with the things you desired," Takashi whispered softly. Takashi was very well aware of his son's abilities, and he wanted to send his son to the academies in Europe to help him improve. But that would have costed him a lot of money, and he roughly earned about $800 a month. However, due to the unusual silence around them, he could hear him clearly. His heart felt heavy upon listening to his father's words, but he didn't speak anything and pretended as if he didn't hear anything at all. Even though he was a 27-year-old from inside, he couldn't find the right words to console his father, and thus, he decided to keep his mouth shut. By the time they reached their home, the sun had already settled down. While there was still some light coming from the far-off horizon, the sky was getting darker. Shades of blue and black mixed together to form a beautiful scenery in the sky above. Sniff, sniff. Something smells really nice. Hiro began to sniff around as he smelled something fragrant coming from inside his house. "Oh, you're here. Welcome back." His mother greeted them both as they entered the house. "Mom, what are we having for dinner?" Hiro enthusiastically questioned as soon as he entered his house. The house he lived in was a traditionally built Japanese-style house called minka. The house was made up of woods and consisted 2 floors. The bottom floor contained 2 spacious large rooms, while the upper floor contained 3 small rooms. Even though their house was pretty small, it contained a small yard in front. "You'll know once you see for yourself," she chuckled. "Now go freshen up and change your clothes." As he took off his shoes, he ran towards his room in a hurry. He didn't even arrange his shoes properly. He simply tossed them aside as he ran towards his room in a hurry. "Put your shoes in the shoe rack," his mother yelled as she began to collect his tossed-aside shoes. Takashi remained frozen in front of the door with a cheerful smile on his face. "Now should I send you an invitation separately?" His mother looked at his father with her icy cold gaze. Seeing her gaze, the smile on his face faded away. He then took his shoes off and obediently put them in the rack. "Whoa, it's fried chicken for dinner today," Hiro exclaimed in awe. Hiro was a fan of fried chicken. Mostly they would have steamed white rice, boiled veggies, and fish for dinner. As she considered fried foods unhealthy, she wouldn't let them feast on anything fried in oil. And only in rare occasions she would cook fried foods. After leaving separately from his mother in his previous life, he had to survive on fast foods. And that was the time when he discovered his love for fried chicken. Yes, since it's a special occasion today, so eat as much as you want, she exclaimed in ecstasy. But what's this special occasion you both keep mentioning about? Hiro bewilderingly questioned as he pulled the chair and sat down. You're getting interviewed tomorrow. Cough, cough. As soon as he heard about the interview, he choked on his food. Easy, easy. Takashi stroked his back gently and provided him water. Chapter 27. Bonus chapter, interview. Chatter, chatter. A huge commotion was taking place at the football ground of Ukami Elementary School. Students were flocking all over the ground and storming towards the already packed football ground to become a part of the commotion. What's happening over there? One of the students pointed at the huge crowd of students gathered beside the football ground. I'm not sure about it, but a lot of people are standing over there holding cameras and microphones. Another student replied, a little bit to the right. Move the camera a little bit to the right. One middle-aged man who was dressed in a polo t-shirt and wearing a baseball cap was giving introduction to the camera crew. Just then, principal of Ukami Elementary School, Miyamoto Takumi, made his appearance in the pitch, dressed in a black suit. Hello, Mr. Miyamoto, it's my pleasure to meet you. The middle-aged man stretched his hands forward to shake hands with the principal. Hello, Mr. Suzuki. The pleasure is all mine. The principal grabbed his hand and performed a handshake. First up all, I'd like to thank you for letting us interview your star player. And I must say, you've recruited quite a capable player for the nationals in your team. Indeed, he's such an amazing player. But it's not me who scouted him. It's all thanks to the scout of our football team, Sakamoto-san, for scouting such an amazing player that we're able to recruit such an amazing player in our team. The principal proudly exclaimed with a smile on his face. He couldn't look more happy. While those two men were cheerfully conversing with each other, Hiro made his way towards the pitch in his new Adidas Predator boots. He staggeringly walked towards the pitch and seemed kind of nervous. Oh look, there's our main character for the show. Suzuki-san exclaimed while pointing his finger towards Hiro. Just then another man shouted. Sir, we're all set to go. Okay, wait for a bit. I'll be there in a moment. Now then, will you excuse me for a while, Miyamoto-san? Suzuki-san hurriedly walked towards Hiro. Hello, Hiro. How are you? Oh, hello, Mr. Suzuki. I'm fine. Thank you for asking. Hiro greeted him back. But your face says otherwise. Yeah, honestly speaking, I'm kinda nervous. Don't worry, Hiro. We'll do it just like we've practiced early in the morning. Hiro had skipped a few classes early in the morning to rehearse for the interview. After conversing for a while, both of them headed towards the location where the interview was going to take place. At first, they interviewed the principal of the Ukami Elementary School, followed by Coach Miura, and finally, after interviewing both of them, it was his turn to get interviewed. It's your turn now. Don't be nervous and speak as casually as you can. If something goes wrong, we'll just redo it again. So don't stress over the interview. Best of luck. Suzuki-san tried to console him. Only if I could focus well on the interview, I wouldn't be so nervous. Oh yeah, why did I forget that I have a system and I have a perfect skill for a time like this? Due to nervousness, he completely forgot about the presence of the system. System, activate skill focus. Skill, focus. Activated. With the activation of the skill, he could no longer hear the noise coming from the crowds. He could focus better at the interview up front and negate the feeling of nervousness. What? All of a sudden, he looks totally different now. There's not even a faint sign of nervousness within him. It vanished as if it wasn't even there in the first place. Suzuki-san whispered in awe. Action. With that, the host Suzume-san started to interview him. Even though she was a reporter, she also hosted several reality shows for her channel. Hello everyone, it's me Suzume, your host for the show Neighborhood Celebrity. Today I'm here in the field of Ukami Elementary School. It's a pretty new school, so many of you may not have heard about it. But I'm sure a lot of you people have heard about the name Soccer Wizard. Yes, that's right, it's the same Soccer Wizard who have amassed a staggering 80K subscriber within less than 24 hours of posting his first video. The same Soccer Wizard who shocked the whole world with his soccer skills. Now without any further ado, let's welcome our very own Soccer Wizard, Takahashi Hiro. As the announcer finished the introduction part, Hiro made his way towards the pitch while juggling the ball in his feet. That wasn't a part of the script. Suzuki-san exclaimed in awe. He was the producer of the show Neighborhood Celebrity. What should we do, Suzuki-san? That wasn't in the part of the script. The director whispered. Let him continue. While the filming continued, Hiro started to demonstrate his skills. Without dropping the ball, he performed around the world not once, but 3 times in a row. While he was demonstrating his skills with the ball, the crowds burst out in cheers, and the atmosphere around the ground started to get more intense. The director didn't want to miss the intense reaction of the crowds, and he filmed the whole reaction of the crowds. Finally, after demonstrating multiple skills with the ball, he kicked the ball super hard and sent it flying in the sky. The ball flew about 50 meters up in the sky, and it stayed in the air for about 6 seconds. After attaining the maximum height, it began to drop with rapid velocity due to the gravity. and as it was about to land, he stretched his legs a little forward and controlled the ball with a brilliant first touch. Whole crowds burst out in cheers upon seeing him control the ball. Everybody were mesmerized by the skills he displayed. Whoa, is he even a 6-year-old kid? What were you doing when you were 6 years? Do let me know in the comments. For me, I was probably playing house when I was 6 years. The interview took place for a while, and occasionally they asked him to demonstrate more skills. He reluctantly agreed to their request and performed as they desired. However, Suzum-san got too full of herself and began to ask him to perform even more tricks with the ball. Even so, he reluctantly agreed to her request and kept on entertaining the crowds. However, the effect of the skill focus had already weared off. Somehow he was still maintaining his composure even without the skill focus. Many of you may not know this, but yesterday our soccer wizards scored 5 goals in the first match of the Nationals for Ukami Elementary School. And I'm sure many of you football enthusiasts might be familiar with this particular school team. Not only are they dominant in high school and middle school football tournament, they are also dominant in elementary school level football tournament. Yeah, I'm talking of none other than the powerhouse football team of Tokushima Prefecture, Karasuno Elementary School. And the day after tomorrow, the team of our soccer wizard will be playing against that powerhouse school level football team, Karasuno Elementary School. As mentioned by the host of the show, Karasuno Elementary School were dominant in every levels of school football tournament in Tokushima Prefecture. Beside Karasuno Elementary School, they also had a middle school and a high school too. And in all 3 levels of school, their football teams were considered one of the powerhouse of the Tokushima Prefecture. Will you come to watch our soccer wizard play against the mighty Karasuno Elementary School? If yes, then do let me know in the comments. This is Suzum, your host for the show Neighborhood Celebrity, speaking from the training ground of Ukami Elementary School. Thank you for watching. Finally, after almost an hour, the interview finally ended. Taking his performance and exhaustion into account, the school decided to let him take a day off, and such they called for his parents. However, both of them were busy with their works, and they couldn't come to pick him up before the end of the school. Sorry, Hiro, your parents are busy, so I'll have to send you back to the class. Just then, when Principal Miyamoto was about to send him back to the class because of the busy schedule of his parents, Suzuki-san volunteered to take care of him for the rest of the day. Why don't I take care of him for the rest of the day? I might need some help with editing, and I think his insights might prove useful to me. Suzuki-san exclaimed. I'll have to ask permission from his parents first, so give me a minute. The principal began to dial his mother's phone number. She says it's okay, the principal exclaimed. After his mother agreed to let Suzuki-san take care of him for the rest of the day, Suzuki-san took him to McDonald's to get him something to eat. He couldn't look more happy about it. Chapter 28, the match begins. After training relentlessly for the match against Karasuno Elementary School, it was finally the day of the face-off. Even though it was a weekday, a lot of spectators showed up for the match between Karasuno Elementary School and Ukami Elementary School. The atmosphere around the stadium was extremely vibrant. Most of the spectators were seen with their mobile phones and cameras in the stands. YouTubers were broadcasting the match in their channel, while reporters were covering the match as well. Welcome to the round of 16 of the Prefectural Tournament. Today we have an interesting match between Ukami Elementary School and Karasuno Elementary School. And estimating by the number of the people in the stands, it seems that a lot of people have shown up for the match between Karasuno Elementary School and Ukami Elementary School. The commentator announced, Okay boys, for past few days we've been practicing really hard for this day, and it's finally the day of the face-off. Unlike the previous times, today I won't tell you anything. You all have practiced really hard, and I know that you'll give your everything today. So go out there and show them what you've got. Coach Miura tried to raise the morale of the squad before sending them to the pitch. The players from both sides are making their way towards the pitch. So let's welcome them with loud cheers and applause. Woohoo! KRASUNO. OKMI. The supporters from both sides began to chant the name of their respective teams. The supporters from both sides showed no signs of slowing down as the cheers from both sides only got more intense as time progressed. None of the sides were showing signs of backing down. The sky was crystal clear with no signs of rain clouds in the sky. The sun was shining brightly from early in the morning that day, and the day was extremely hot. Under the scorching sun, as the players from both sides made their way towards the pitch, the crowds burst out in cheers. Whoa, are we in a World Cup match? Kuro exclaimed in awe upon witnessing the large number of people in the stands. The venue where the match between Karasuno Elementary School and Ukami Elementary School was taking place supported about 1,500 spectators at a time, and today the stadium was almost houseful. After making their way towards the pitch, both of the teams exchanged a friendly handshake, and the referee called out for the captains of both of the teams for the toss. From Ukami Elementary School, Indo stepped forward, while from Karasuno Elementary School, Shoyo stepped forward. Heads or tails? The referee inquired. You can pick first. Shoyo wanted Indo to pick first. Indo reluctantly agreed to his proposal and thanked him for letting him pick first. Tails. Indo exclaimed. Huh? Are we having Pokemon battle right now? One of the young spectators from the stands started to make fun of Endo and Shoyo for their short height. Endo and Shoyo, both of them, had a very short height as compared to other players in the field. The referee then tossed the coin in the air, and as the coin landed on the ground, the outcome of the toss became known. The coin landed on heads, and Endo lost the toss. Shoyo decided to pick the side they wanted to play, and Ukami Elementary School was forced to start the kickoff. Beep. The match between Karasuno Elementary School and Ukami Elementary School has officially begun with the whistle of the referee. Previously, Ukami Elementary School played in a 4-4-2 diamond formation, but today they are changing their tactics and going for a 4-3-3 formation with Sato and Kuro as their winger and the starman Hiro as their center forward. However, there's no change in the formation of Karasuno Elementary School, as they are playing in the same 4-3-2-1 formation as they did previously, with Shoyo acting as their sole forward. The game kicked off with Hiro's pass to Sato, and as soon as he got the ball, Sato began to press forward. Shoyo quickly caught up to him, making use of his explosive pace. As Shoyo got closer to him, Sato quickly passed the ball backwards. However, Shoyo didn't stop and continued to press towards the ball. The defenders of Ukami Elementary School continued to pass the ball between themselves and kept their positions. Upon seeing the players of Ukami Elementary School passing the ball in their own half, the offensive players of Karasuno Elementary School stepped forward and began to press for the ball. Karasuno Elementary School were playing hyper-pressing game from the start of the match, while Ukami Elementary School were casually passing the ball between themselves. Due to their hyper-pressing strategy, the players of Karasuno Elementary School were rapidly draining their stamina. However, by doing so, they were constantly creating pressure on the players of Ukami Elementary School. Their strategy consisted both the advantage and disadvantage. Due to the hyper-pressing strategy of Karasuno Elementary School, the players of Ukami Elementary School started to make mistakes as they started to mispass the ball. The mistakes only intensified as time progressed. At 17th minute of the game, due to the mistake of Kozai Otsuka, the defensive midfielder of Ukami Elementary School, Shoyo caught a loose ball in the center half of the pitch. As soon as he got the ball in his feet, he began to dribble the ball forward while making use of his lightning pace. It didn't take him more than few touches to showcase his skills. While the defenders of Ukami Elementary School blocked his shoot course, he surprised everybody in the stadium with his shot from outside the box. He performed a powerful shot from outside the box targeting the top right corner of the Ukami Elementary School's goalpost. Nobody expected him to make that kind of shot, and if it weren't for Endo, then they might have conceded a goal from that shot of Shoyo. Due to his short stature, Endo ran a few steps first and then lunged towards the ball. Instead of lunging sideways, he changed his angle a little bit in front and jumped at about 160 degrees. Chapter 29, Rising Tension in the Field. Endo barely managed to reach the ball and keep the ball away from the net. The ball bounced away as he saved the ball. Thud. Endo landed roughly on the ground while making that huge save. Loose ball. Endo shouted. The defenders of Ukami Elementary School were stunned by Endo's brilliant save that they didn't even notice the loose ball. Only after Endo shouted loose ball did they actually came back to their senses and made their way towards the ball. That was an incredible stop from Endo. However, the ball is still in the bounds, and it looks like Shoyo will be the one to reach the ball before anyone else. However, it was too late for them as Shoyo was already chasing the ball even before the ball touched Endo's gloves, as if he was expecting for a rebound. Bounce. Bounce. The ball began to bounce away from the goalpost, and after few bounces, it rolled over at the left corner of the penalty box of the Ukami Elementary School. Because of his early run, Shoyo reached the ball before anybody else could reach. The defenders of Ukami Elementary School were still quite a distance away from Shoyo, and Endo was still lying on the ground. With Endo lying on the floor, the post was quite open. However, the angle for shooting was also tight as well. Despite the unfavorable angle for making a shot, Shoyo still decided to go for a shot. He kicked the ball hard towards the goalpost. With Endo unprepared, there was simply no stopping to Shoyo's shot. As the ball was released from his legs, it flew directly towards the goalpost. The crowd stood up in anticipation. Go, go. No. Everybody thought that it would end up as goal, but as if by stroke of luck, the ball hit the upper right crossbar of the goalposts and bounced back. Unlucky Shoyo, he hit the crossbar. That was an impressive play from Shoyo. He's showing everybody why they need to be wary of him. You lose a sight of him even for a moment and he'll use that opportunity to score a goal against you. Luckily, the ball bounced towards one of the defenders of Ukami Elementary School, and this time the defenders of Ukami Elementary School made no mistake. He quickly passed the ball towards Otsuka, the defensive midfielder of Ukami Elementary School. Otsuka wasted no time and quickly released the ball forward towards Kyuan, one of the midfielder of Ukami Elementary School. Since most of the players of Karasuno Elementary School were in front of the goalpost of Ukami Elementary School had a chance to counterattack. And the players of Ukami Elementary School didn't waste any time as they began to charge the ball forward with lightning speed. Back! Get back! One of the player of Karasuno Elementary School shouted in desperation. The players of Karasuno Elementary School didn't waste any time and began to chase after the ball as well. As they began to fall back, the players of Ukami Elementary School found themselves in a 4 versus 7 situation. Against the 4 defenders of Karasuno Elementary School, there were 7 attackers of Ukami Elementary School rushing towards the goal. And even though the players of Karasuno Elementary School were falling back, it would have still taken them some time to position themselves. Kyuan then released the ball towards Hiro, who had fallen back a little. As soon as the ball was released towards Hiro, 2 of the defenders of Karasuno Elementary School surrounded him, while the 2 more defenders maintained a certain distance away from him. "Oh, so you've studied my plays. 2 defenders for the face-off and 2 defenders to cover the empty spaces. Not bad," Hiro mumbled as he stood before 2 defenders of Karasuno Elementary School. The defenders of Karasuno Elementary School were unusually wary of Hiro. "But you're forgetting something. I'm not the only one in our team who can score a goal." Hiro easily dribbled past those 2 defenders and cheekily lofted the ball towards Kuro. The keeper of Karasuno Elementary School came forward to block his course. However, instead of shooting the ball, Kuro passed the ball towards Sato, who was not marked by any players of Karasuno Elementary School. Sato gently tapped the ball inside the net and scored a goal in an open post. Golo all. What a beautiful team goal from Ukami Elementary School. From defenders to attackers, everybody was involved in that beautiful goal. At 18th minute of the game, Karasuno Elementary School conceded the first goal of the game as Ukami Elementary School opened up the scoresheet. Even after that goal, the players of Karasuno Elementary School didn't stop to press hard. As soon as they would lose positions, they'd quickly press for the ball. They were playing a Guggen pressing style game. Even though that particular playstyle would take some more years to become known to the public, the players of Karasuno Elementary School were playing in that playstyle unknowingly. Beep. The first half ended with a single goal, with Ukami Elementary School taking the lead. After that first goal, Karasuno Elementary School made countless attempts to draw the game. But their effort didn't amount to anything. After that mistake in the 17th minute of the game, the players of Ukami Elementary School had learnt their lessons. And thus, every time the ball landed on Shoyo's feet, they didn't give him any opportunity to move the ball forward. They began to man-mark him for the entirety of the first half. Second half wasn't any different as well. They began to mark Shoyo right from the starting of the second half. Getting marked all the time, Shoyo started to show signs of frustration and anger. However, at 47th minute of the match, he shook off his mark and broke free. Just as he was charging the ball forward, Yamazaki Kento, the center back of Karasuno Elementary School, stood in front of him blocking his course. "What will you do now, mister? I'm the star of Karasuno Elementary School. Can't take the ball forward." Kento began to provoke Shoyo and get on his mind. Kento, who was already 11 years old, didn't hold back against Shoyo. Aside from his sturdy build, he didn't have anything flashy. Even though he used to play as a forward previously, Coach Miura converted him to a defender. And even though he was still learning to become a defender, he was sloppy in defense. However, the coach of Ukami Elementary School still put him in the starting team because of his unique trait. His unique trait was to get inside the head of the opponent. Thus, because of that unique trait of his, he was more suited to become a defender. At first, Shoyo tried to ignore his taunts, but eventually he gave out to his inner desire and lashed out at Kento because of earlier frustration from being marked all the time. "Oh, what's this? Shoyo has gone out of control." He punched the defender of Ukami Elementary School in the face. Unable to control his anger, he jabbed Kento in his face in the middle of the match. Having been hit on his chin, Kento fainted immediately. Even with his sturdy body, he couldn't take on a blow that came out of nowhere. Beep. The referee blew his whistle and stopped the play. The players from both sides began to flock over the place where Kento fainted. And after that assault, the tension began to rise between both of the teams. The players from both sides began to push the players of opposite team. And just when a fight was about to break, security personnel who were the staff of the stadium were forced to intervene. With the help of the guards, a fight was prevented between the teams. Coach Miura rushed towards the pitch to check on Kento's condition. He began to check on his pulse. And as he began to check on his pulse, he found it still pulsating. Luckily, he only fainted, and there was no serious damage done to him. After the commotion, the referee warned every player involved in the strife and ejected Shoyo from the game by giving him red card. Kento was deemed unfit to participate in the match any further and was substituted for Akashi. Ding! Congratulations for the host for completing the quest. A golden ticket has been granted as a reward for the completion of the quest. A notification from the system appeared as Akashi made his debut. Beep. The game continued with a free kick for Ukami Elementary School. Even though the commotion was settled down, the tension between the two teams were quite vivid even from the stands. For the next 13 minutes, Karasuno Elementary School played a very rough game. But without their star player, they were simply no match to Ukami Elementary School. They conceded 2 more goals in that remaining 13 minutes and went on to lose the game with a score of 3-0. And finally, the match between Ukami Elementary School and Karasuno Elementary School ended with a score of 3-0, with Hiro scoring 2 goals in a matter of 5 minutes. Chapter 30, First Talent. While the players of Ukami Elementary School were cheerfully chanting their victory slogans and celebrating on the pitch, the players of Karasuno Elementary School were scattered on the ground with their faces contorted in disappointment. Most of the spectators in the stand couldn't believe the unexpected turn of events which unfolded before their eyes. The supporters of Karasuno Elementary School were still in daze while the supporters of Ukami Elementary School were full of laughter. They were celebrating as if they had already won the tournament. After a while, the referee gathered both the winning team and losing team for one last handshake. However, the players of Karasuno Elementary School didn't look one bit happy about shaking hands with the players of Ukami Elementary School. More than the pain of losing the match, they were demonstrating emotions of hatred in their face. Later in that day, Hiro was lying on his bed while scrolling his phone. Due to the live broadcast of several YouTubers, somehow the match had gained even more popularity on the internet. Several articles were published all over social media sites. As he was scrolling through his Facebook account, several videos of him popped up. Back then when he created his YouTube account, he had created a Facebook account to promote his videos. The videos made him curious and he began to scroll through his videos. Since it was still an anonymous account which didn't even consisted a decent profile picture, he hadn't gained any popularity in his Facebook account. Soccer Wizard against the mighty Karasuno Elementary School. Soccer Wizard demonstrates his magic. I can't believe he scored a goal from that distance. Is that kid even a kid? Is it even a kid's match? Ace of Karasuno Elementary School lashed out at the player of Ukami Elementary School. Rising tension in the field. And so on. Several videos with such titles popped up all over his social media account. And almost every video had more than 50k views in it. He began to binge watch every videos related to the match. The overflowing support of the people amused him. Damn, I never thought that a kid's match could gain such a massive response from the people. Hiro mumbled in awe. Right? I still haven't checked my YouTube account. Shall we check on it? He then logged into his YouTube account to check on his account. He hadn't posted a single video after he posted his first video because of his busy schedule. Holy shit. 180k subscriber. 780k view. WTF. Am I dreaming right now? His eyes widened in shock. He couldn't believe the ridiculous amount of subscribers in his YouTube channel. No wonder those reporters sought after me. Now that we mention about them, let's check out the video of the interview. After going through his YouTube account, he began to search for the video of his interview. I'm sure they called the show Neighborhood Celebrities. Holy shit. It gained more than 1 million views already. Once again, the ridiculous amount of views on the video which he was featured in shocked him. He then clicked on the video and began to watch the video. While the video was playing, he couldn't stop himself from smiling. He was constantly smiling while watching the video. Damn, I look so handsome. Ha ha ha. He began to praise himself while laughing like a maniac. You're right. I still haven't monetized my video. I'll ask Dad for his bank details tomorrow and monetize it. Saying that, he turned off his off and put it inside the drawer and headed to sleep. Even after closing his eyes for more than 5 minutes, he couldn't sleep for some reason. Unable to sleep, he opened his eyes in state of delirium. Something felt amiss. Am I forgetting something? He wondered. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm forgetting about the golden ticket. He mumbled. System activate. As he mumbled, the blue panel of the system appeared in front of him. At first page, it showed his description. He scanned through his attributes, but didn't notice any noticeable changes in it. At first my attributes increased quite fine, but now I can't seem to improve it. He mumbled in a muffled voice. The slow increase in his stats started to concern him. Previously his stats were increasing just fine by completing the daily quests. But now even after completing his daily quests consistently, it wasn't increasing as compared to before. And thus, his stagnant growth started to concern him. Maybe it's because I'm not challenging myself enough. And TBH, the daily quests aren't even that challenging these days. But let's worry about that later. For now, let's use our golden ticket. While his stagnant growth concerned him, at the moment he was more interested in his golden ticket. After all, golden ticket could grant him a random ability of any player. So he was excited to find out the talent he could copy. Roulette section. You have 1 golden ticket available. Would you like to use your golden ticket? Yes. As he confirmed the use of golden ticket, the roulette wheel began to spin. It spun for a while and landed on a random card. Congratulations for the host for obtaining the free kick of Roberto Carlos. Talent. Free kick of Roberto Carlos. Talent description. Can perform a free kick like Roberto Carlos and can be used for 3 times every single day. Holy shit. Free kick of Roberto Carlos. Roberto Carlos was a Brazilian defender who was best known for his speed, shooting power, and free kicks. The iconic free kick he scored against France in 1997 was one of the most impressive free kicks humankind had ever witnessed. It was packed with explosive shot power. While he shot that free kick, the ball went so fast that the keeper of France's national team didn't even have a moment to react. Before he could come back to his senses, the ball was already inside the net. Damn, I gotta try it tomorrow against Indo. Ha ha ha. He let out an evil grin in his face as he thought of testing his newfound talent against the keeper of Ukami Elementary School. Feeling all excited, he went to sleep. As usual, he arrived late for his classes. Thus, while on his way towards his classroom, he couldn't find even a single student outside the hallways. As he was about to enter his classroom, he found his classroom unusually silent. Just as he opened the door of his classroom, groups of students flocked over him. Soccer wizard. Hiro, I watched your match yesterday. You played so well. You were so amazing. His classmates rushed towards him while singing his praises. They didn't give him even a moment to breathe. They squeezed him and began to ask ridiculous questions. Due to his busy schedule, he didn't attend most of the classes after he posted his video. And even the times when he attended classes, the teachers wouldn't let the students do as they wish. And he had also been skipping the classes due to football training. Thus nobody could have a word with him, even after attending the class. However, today was different. There was no teacher in the classroom. In absence of teacher, the students could talk as much as they wanted. Thus, the students of his class didn't waste the opportunity and flocked all over him to ask him for his autograph and converse with him. Without realizing, he had turned into Mr. Popular of his class. However, he still had trouble with dealing with crowds. Thus, he couldn't answer anything. He started to pray for someone to take him out of that precarious situation and save him. All of you get to your seats. With the arrival of teacher, everybody scattered and began to run towards their seats, leaving him alone. Thank you, Sensei. He took a deep breath and thanked his teacher for taking him out of that precarious situation in a muffled voice. After taking few classes, the previous situation repeated itself as lunchtime arrived. His classmates flocked over him, once again. Just as he was about to faint, Akashi made his appearance. All of the students began to scatter with his appearance. Even though he didn't do anything, the students were terrified of his appearance. Thus, nobody dared to make a single noise in presence of Akashi. Once again, he was saved. The classes went smooth afterwards because of the presence of a teacher in the classroom. Ding, dong. Okay, students, this much for today. Thank you, teacher. The students thanked the teacher in unison. And just as the teacher exited the classroom, he grabbed his bag and stormed towards the pitch before his classmates could flock over him, once again. As he was tying his laces, he wondered if every day would be like that. The thoughts of facing that situation every day sent shiver down his spine and haunted him. He contorted his face while imagining the situation. God, just save me from those little devils. Chapter 31, Endo's Little Brother. During the training session, the sidelines of the pitch was covered with crowds of students. A lot of students were flocking over the pitch to witness them train. Just why are there so many kids gathered over there? Coach Miura complained. Haha, maybe it's all because of Hiro. They're probably here to see him play. He's become somewhat like a celebrity. Honda-san chuckled. As Coach Miura and assistant coach Honda were conversing with each other, Hiro was preparing to test out his newfound talent against Endo. While Endo was scanning the goalpost and screaming at the players of Ukami Elementary School to cover up the gap in the wall, Hiro was walking towards the center half of the pitch while holding the ball in his hand. Is he planning to shoot the ball from the center half? Coach Miura bewilderingly questioned. Seems like it, sir. Honda-san answered. Both of them were baffled by his actions. But as Hiro began to step back from the ball, they began to stare at him with eyes full of anticipation. He took a few steps back and paused for a while. While keeping his eyes fixated at the ball, he was preparing to launch himself. Sigh. And as he released a deep sigh, he ran towards the ball. The players who acted as a wall, blocking his shoot course, looked at him with eyes filled with terror and nervousness. Endo tried to cover as much gap as possible to stop the ball from entering the net. But before he could even react, the ball went past him. All he could feel was the swoosh sound of the ball as it touched the net. What? The ball flew like a missile shot from a cannon. Did you see that? The expression of shock displayed by the students who were standing beside the pitch said everything about that goal scored by Hiro with his newfound talent free kick of Roberto Carlos. After that match with Karasuno Elementary School, they didn't struggle much against the opponent they faced in quarterfinals and semifinals. At quarterfinal, they defeated Sawamura Elementary School with a score of 4-0. Similarly, at semifinals, they defeated Kinkoku Elementary School with a score of 3-1 and booked their spot in the finals from first segment. They cleared quarterfinal and semifinal of the tournament without breaking much sweat. And in both of those matches, he wasn't even required to use his skill. Thus, he couldn't demonstrate his newfound talent. From second segment, Rondon Elementary School came out as victor after barely defeating their opponent with a single goal lead in semifinals and booked their spot for the final. Everybody expected Rondon Elementary School to make it to the final from second segment. However, contrary to their expectation of first segment, Ukami Elementary School came out as a victor instead of Karasuno Elementary School, which was shocking to many people. So you've made it to the finals of Prefectural Tournament. Takashi questioned Hiro while both of them were playfully passing the ball. Hiro silently nodded his head. They were having a father and son moment with each other. Just then Takashi paused. What's your dream, Hiro? Takashi questioned. Why are you asking about that now? Hiro mumbled awkwardly. And as he playfully took a peek at his father's face, he couldn't speak anything. His father wasn't asking him such questions out of nowhere. I want to be the best footballer in the planet. Reverberating to the emotions of his father, He bluntly stated that he wanted to be the best footballer in the planet. I see. Takashi mumbled with a satiated look on his face. As the day of the final was approaching, the players were starting to get nervous. Even with the confident boost from winning against Karasuno Elementary School, they were still having nervous breakdowns because of the final. It was totally natural for those players of Ukami Elementary School to have nervous breakdowns. After all, it was their first major tournament. And moreover, on their first ever major tournament debut, they reached the final after defeating one of the powerhouse football team of their prefecture. What are you doing over there, Endo-senpai? It's already time to head home. Hiro questioned Endo, who was sitting all by himself beside the goalpost even after the end of the training. Oh, it's you, Hiro. Nothing much. I'm just enjoying the fresh air. And shouldn't you be heading home? What are you doing over here at this time? Endo replied while blankly staring at the sky. No, my mom will be arriving a little late today, so I thought I might as well shoot some balls. Endo didn't reply anything and continued to stare at the evening sky above his head. After a while, he stood up. Are you worried about the match against Rondon Elementary School? Hiro questioned. However, Endo didn't reply anything. Just as Hiro was about to leave, he heard something. I'll be facing against my brother. Endo whispered. Huh, you have a brother? Hiro exclaimed in awe. Nobody in the team knew much about Endo. He was one of those few players in Ukami Elementary School's team who was very secretive about his information. He didn't talk much outside the field and mostly preferred to stay alone. Since he was transferred to Ukami Elementary School the same year as Hiro joined Ukami Elementary School, nobody knew much about him. Yeah, he studies at Rondon Elementary School, and he plays for the Rondon Elementary School's team. If you don't mind me asking about his name, can you tell me his name? Hiro politely asked for the name of Endo's brother. Don't tell anyone about it. His name is Kurosawa Taki. Huh, Kurosawa Taki. How? Hiro's eyes widened in shock. He couldn't believe that Kurosawa Taki was Endo's brother. He was at a loss of words. But your last name doesn't even match with each other? Unable to believe that Kurosawa Taki was his little brother, he bewilderingly questioned him. Yeah, that's because we're not blood related. Endo then began to tell him about the relationship he had with Kurosawa Taki. Taki and Endo were originally orphans who stayed at the same orphanage. Endo was abandoned by his parents before he could even remember, and Taki lost his parents in a car accident. Having been born from an illicit relationship between two young couples, he was abandoned by his parents in front of an orphanage before he could even remember. He spent most of his years at orphanage, until someone adopted him. During his time at the orphanage, he met Taki when he was about 6 years of age. Taki was only 2 years old when he was brought at the orphanage by his relatives after the death of his parents in car accident. Even though he had relatives who could take care of him, none of his relatives wanted to take care of him, and thus they decided to send him to the orphanage. That's how Taki ended up at the orphanage. When Taki was 2 years of age and Endo was 6 years old, Endo met him for the first time. Taki was still a young child who hadn't even stopped drinking mother's milk. And the orphanage lacked the required personnel to look after every kids in the orphanage. Having been grown up in the orphanage, Endo used to often help the caretakers with their jobs and take care of the kids even though he himself was a kid. Taki, being one of the youngest in the orphanage, required a lot of attention. The caretakers of the orphanage couldn't attend to him all the time as they would need to take care of other kids as well. At that time, Endo stepped forward to take care of Taki and took care of him like his own younger brother. He fetched him milk, kept him entertained, and even sang lullaby to him. Every time when Taki used to cry, Endo would immediately rush towards the caretaker to inform them about his condition. That's how both of them grew close to each other. That's what Endo believed. For almost 2 years, Endo took care of Taki in the orphanage. And suddenly, on one fateful day when Taki was about to turn 4 years old, he was adopted by some well-to-do family. And after almost a year of Taki's adoption, Endo was adopted by a middle-class family as well. But after that adoption, Endo never saw Taki again, until he caught a sight of him once again in the squad of Rondon Elementary School during the opening ceremony of the prefectural tournaments. I'm really sorry about that, Endo-senpai. Hiro began to apologize. No, you don't have to be sorry. I'm sure he doesn't even recognize me now. So it's all right. Endo exclaimed while faking his smile. It had almost been 1 year since he last witnessed the sight of Taki, and he wasn't even sure if Taki would even remember him or not. Chapter 32, Champion vs. Challenger. After hearing that shocking revelation from Endo, Hiro was at loss of words. And even though he could feel the suffering of Endo, he couldn't console him. He wondered how a kid of that age was holding so much emotions within him. Even so, he couldn't just sit by and watch him grieve. He needed to do something to cheer him. He then began to make futile attempts to cheer him. I'm sure everything will turn out fine. And aren't you glad that he's doing really well? Hiro exclaimed while trying to console him. I hope so. Endo frowned. Don't worry about it. You'll get to reunite with your brother. And I'm sure everything will turn out fine. Hiro exclaimed with a smile on his face. Endo hesitatingly took a peek at Hiro's face. There was a smile on his face, and he could feel that Hiro was genuinely worried about him. Upon seeing the gentle smile on his face, he felt a little better. Yeah, everything will turn out fine. He mumbled and revealed a warm smile. April 2, 2015. Pocari Sweat Stadium, Tokushima, Japan. Crowds of spectators were flocking towards the stadium, and a diverse group of people ranging from kids to elderly people were walking towards the stadium with cheerful smile on their faces. Welcome everyone to the final of this year's prefectural tournament of Tokushima Prefecture. Today we'll be witnessing the face-off of Ukami Elementary School and Rondon Elementary School. It's a match between previous year's winner and a new challenger. For past few years, Rondon Elementary School have been dominating the prefectural tournament, and only Karasuno Elementary School have come close to challenging them for the past few years. But will things change now? Ukami Elementary School have built a really strong team, which has even managed to defeat the mighty Karasuno Elementary School, and they are eyeing towards the throne of the prefectural tournament. Will we witness a change in the history today? Or will Rondon Elementary School defend their title? Woohoo! While the commentator was commentating, suddenly the crowd burst out in cheers. Players began to walk out from the tunnel. Players of Rondon Elementary School made their appearance dressed in white jerseys. Walking side by side were the players of Ukami Elementary School dressed in black jersey. It was a battle of black and white. It was a battle between the champions and the challengers. Usually only the nationals would be broadcasted in the TV channels, but due to the immense popularity of Hiro, the local news channel were stationed in the stadium to broadcast the match live in their channel. There's sure a lot of people in the stand today. Hiro mumbled in awe upon witnessing the huge number of spectators in the stand. The final match was being held at Pocari Sweat Stadium, the home of Tokushima Vortis Football Club. Tokushima Vortis Football Club was one of the professional team which played in the J2 of Japanese Football League. Even though it played in the second tier of Japanese League, it had a huge fan following and moreover it contained a large football stadium. While Hiro was searching for his parents in the crowd, he found Akashi acting weird. He was looking at the stadium from the hole of his hands which he shaped like a binoculars. "What are you doing?" Hiro questioned, contorting his face. "Sho, I'm looking for the scouts," Akashi replied while looking at the stands. "Why would there be scouts in a kid's game? Since it's a stadium of a professional team, there might be scouts of the team. Now don't disturb me." Akashi tried to shrug him off. Akashi wasn't totally wrong about his statement. After all, Tokushima Vortis was a professional team which had a youth team, so it wasn't totally off the chart for the scouts of Tokushima Vortis to be present in the stadium. He then looked around him and found his teammates acting weird for some reasons. Kuro, Hyuan, and Otsuka, the three of them were lying in the ground with their face facing downwards. "What are you all doing?" he bewilderingly questioned. "Ooh, the grass is so soft. I can feel the texture of these finely trimmed grass." Hyuan expressed himself. For most of them, it was their first time playing in a stadium of professional team. Even for Hiro, it was his first time playing in a professional team stadium. In his previous life, he never got to play in a professional team stadium. Just then as Endo made his way towards them with his face contorted in disdain. "What's the matter, Endo-senpai?" Hiro questioned upon witnessing his sad face. "We lost the toss." Endo sighed. "Ha. You scared us for no reason. And we thought something serious might have happened." The players of Ukami Elementary School burst out in laughter upon listening to Endo's words. "Don't worry about the loss and toss, Endo-senpai. We've got a game to win, right boys?" Hiro raised his voice. "Yeah, let's crush them and win the title, guys." Akashi yelled. "Let's go pack. We've got a game to win." Saying such, all of them walked towards the center half of the pitch to shake the hands of their opponents. After that discussion, their eyes were glowing with confidence. Just as they were shaking the hands of their opponents, Hiro's eyes landed on Taki and Endo. While everybody already finished shaking each other's hands, they were still holding each other's hands. Taki was mumbling something, but he couldn't hear him. While they were conversing with each other, Endo looked extremely sad. "Let's go, Hiro," Akashi called out for him. While keeping his gaze fixated at the sight of Endo and Taki, he began to step back. As they began to position themselves, Kuro yelled, "Hurry up, Endo." Endo hurriedly ran towards the goalpost. They were playing in a 4-4-3 formation with Sato and Kuro playing as winger. Hiro was playing a false 9, and there wasn't much change in their squad except the change being Akashi playing as the starting center back instead of Kento. Beep. The referee blew his whistle, commencing the start of the match. Since they had lost the toss, Rondon Elementary School chose to pick the goalpost, and they were forced to start the kickoff. Hiro passed the ball back towards Rin. Rondon Elementary School relied on a traditional 4-1-3-2 formation. They had a counterattacking philosophy and relied more on their defense. Because of their strong defense, they had gained themselves a nickname of Iron Fortress. And although they relied more on their defense, their offense was extremely deadly as well because of their ability to switch between defense and offense. They were a team to be feared. Since they had learned about their playstyle, the players of Ukami Elementary School didn't charge forward recklessly. They tried to break the opponent's formation as much as they could. Just like them, the players of Rondon Elementary School have prepared enough against them as well. They didn't charge in recklessly and approached them calmly without breaking their formation. And once again they had to rely on Hiro's dribbling to break their defense. Hiro began to dribble the ball forward. And just like in the game with Karasuno Elementary School, the defenders of Rondon Elementary School surrounded him instantly. But unlike the defenders of Karasuno Elementary School who charged towards him recklessly, the defenders of Rondon Elementary stayed in their position and kept on observing him, leaving him no space to take the ball forward. TCH. Hiro clicked his tongue and passed the ball backwards. They were fully aware of his dribbling abilities and were wary of him. For almost 15th minute of the game, the ball stayed glued in the feet of the players of Ukami Elementary School. And at the 16th minute of the game, he noticed a space between their defense. Making use of the space, he began to charge the ball forward with the help of Sato and Kuro. With swift 1-2 passes, they broke free through the defense of Rondon Elementary School. With only a defender and a keeper blocking his course, he found himself exactly at the periphery of the penalty zone. Targeting the top left corner of the pitch, he kicked the ball towards the post from outside the box. The ball touched the tip of Taki's gloves and rolled towards the left side. Loose ball. Just as he was about to shout, something confused him. Surprisingly, there was already a defender positioned at the left side of their defensive half. The sight of that defender confused him. That defender quickly played the ball forward, and Rondon Elementary School started to counterattack. Get back! Get back! He yelled as the defender played the ball forward. Because of the earlier attack, most of their players were in front of the center line. And so were the offensive players of Rondon Elementary School. The two offensive players of Rondon Elementary School didn't participate in the defense even though it was threatening for them. As if they were ordered to stay at the center line no matter the outcome, they didn't drop back to defend even when they were on the verge of conceding a goal. Chapter 33 Ties to Yakuza. While the players of Ukami Elementary School were falling back, the forwards of Rondon Elementary School began to charge the ball forward. The two forwards on their top were extremely agile. With swift 1-2 passes they tore the defense of Ukami Elementary School like pair of sharp scissor blade cutting through the paper. The fast-paced counterattack intrigued the crowds as they stood up from their seat and watched them tear the defense of Ukami Elementary School. With only Akashi and Endo remaining in the back line, the forwards of Rondon Elementary School were already in front of the penalty box. Akashi tried to maintain his composure as much as he can and didn't charge forward recklessly. What will it be? Will he pass, or will he dribble past me, or will he shoot? Akashi began to wonder as droplets of sweat began to wail down his sweaty face. Just then he caught a glimpse of the foot of the player with the ball. Thinking that he'd passed the ball, Akashi jumped forward to block his pass course. But contrary to his expectations, the forward faked the pass and dribbled past him. Endo was the only one standing between that forward and the goal. He was their last ray of hope. Come forward, Endo-senpai. Hiro desperately shouted. But Endo hesitated to come forward and started to panic instead of keeping his cool like he used to do. Since earlier moment, he seemed out of place. As if something was gnawing on him. He seemed different than his usual self. The forward of Rondon Elementary School took full advantage of his hesitation. As he was glued to his post, the forward of Rondon Elementary School had a lot of space to shoot and score. Taking advantage of those spaces, the forward shot the ball and scored a goal against Ukami Elementary School. Golo Alal. Rondon Elementary School have opened up the score sheet. The champions have once again demonstrated why other teams need to fear them. The crowds burst out in cheers as Rondon Elementary School took the lead against Ukami Elementary School in the 17th minute of the match. What's the matter with you, Endo-senpai? You're acting weird. You should have been able to make that save. Akashi began to complain. He had full confidence on Endo to prevent the goal. But contrary to his expectations, Endo conceded a goal. He was frozen at his place. It's all right. It's all right, Akashi. Hiro intoned while pulling back a fuming Akashi. Let's give our best, Endo-senpai. As he was returning to his position, he whispered. Endo didn't reply anything and continued to remain unresponsive. Beep. The referee blew the whistle, commencing the continuation of the match. As time progressed, the playstyle of the Rondon Elementary School remained the same. However, their attacks started to become even more lethal. The score remained 1-0 for the entirety of the first half, while the keeper of Rondon Elementary School was making unbelievable saves and preventing their goals. Endo, on the other hand, looked out of place. Even after that first goal, there were many instances when they were on the verge of conceding goals. If not for their defense, they might have already conceded more than 3 goals in the first half alone. While exiting the pitch, nobody spoke anything. The tension on the team was evident from the faces of the players. Bam! Unable to control his anger, Akashi banged the locker while they were resting in the locker room, awaiting for coach's guidance. What's the matter with you, Endo-senpai? If you don't want to play, then just substitute for Mark-senpai. He's more than ready to play. But if you want to play, then play as if your life depends on it. Akashi burst out in fury and began to cuss Endo. Hiro and Kyuan tried to hold him back, but he was simply too strong for them to restrain. While Akashi was cussing at Endo, nobody spoke anything. After all, Akashi was stating the fact. Akashi, who grew up in a family of Yakuza, feared nobody. While his father ran a business, his grandfather used to be one of the boss of a local Yakuza gang. Even though his grandfather had retired from his position because of his old age and because of the stricter laws, His Yakuza friends from his younger days still used to hang out with him at his place. Akashi, who got along with his grandfather, often accompanied him at the time of meeting. And whenever those old fogies met each other, they would cheerfully tell their heroic deeds they performed when they were younger. Akashi, who was fascinated by those stories, was extremely influenced by their stories and wanted to become like them. His love for football also started because of his grandfather as well. While those old fogies were Yakuzas who didn't give a damn about life, they would often gather together to bet in football matches. And because of those betting habits, they'd often spectate the match from the stands. And as time progressed, those habits changed into love for football. Kuro-senpai, help. Hiro pleaded while gesturing Kuro to help them restrain Akashi. Even though Akashi was younger compared to Endo, he was much more taller and bulkier than the rest of the players. And his fierce temper was no joke. He'd even punch a 13-year-old in anger. He was an idiot with immense raw strength. Okay, that's all, Akashi. Coach Miura intoned as he made his way towards the locker room. Hearing the voice of the coach, Akashi quieted down and tried to break free from their clutches. Fearing that he might lunge at Endo if left alone, the two of them increased their grip and restrained him even more tightly. Leave me. Akashi rose his voice and tried to shake them off. Leave him, Coach Miura exclaimed. Hearing the words of Coach Miura, both of them let go of him. Upon getting free from their clutches, Akashi walked towards the bench and sat down with a wet towel on top of his face. Okay, now that everyone's clammed down, I'd like to say something. I know that first half have been tough for you all, and it's not going as expected, but I want you all to know that the game has not ended, and we still have time to turn around the match. While giving a pep talk, Coach Miura gestured assistant Coach Honda to bring him the whiteboard. He then began to scribble something on the whiteboard. Look here. The reason why we aren't able to score a goal against them is because they're guiding us to the place where they want us to take the ball. They're manipulating our play by creating fake spaces. The spaces where we cannot score a goal. They're intentionally leading us. Coach Miura briefed them about the flaws. Having said that, he adjourned the meeting. And as the players were leaving towards the pitch with a newfound confidence, he stopped Endo. You know why I'm not pulling you out of the game? Coach Miura mumbled. Endo continued to remain silent. Endo, look me in the eyes. He yelled. Endo hesitatingly lifted his head up to meet his eyes. I'm not pulling you out of the game because I believe in you, Endo. So it's all up to you whether you want to prove me right or wrong. Coach Miura exclaimed while looking him in the eyes. Endo remained speechless, but he was feeling guilty as well. Do you understand, Endo? Endo silently nodded his head. Go and give your best. I thought that the coach would substitute his keeper for making those lethal mistakes. But what's this? He hasn't dropped him out of the team. Is there something going on in his head? Is this a part of their strategy? Or is it a plain act of ignorance? Whatever it is, we'll only know after the end of the match. Beep. With the blow of the whistle of referee, the second half of the match commenced in full swing. Neither of the team made any changes, and the game continued with the same players from the beginning. With no tactical changes in the second half, Rondon Elementary School continued to play as they did in the first half. Intentionally leaving a gap for the players of Ukami Elementary School to exploit, they continued to mislead them. And as such, at 43rd minute of the game, the ball was with Hiro. As he was dribbling the ball forward, he noticed a gap in the left side of the player in front. Having heard of their tactics, he did as they wanted. He dribbled towards left to the gap they intentionally left open. However, instead of making a shot from the left side, he cut in even more deep and began to dribble the ball towards the post. Unlike Endo, Taki came forward to block his shoot course. Covering a large space, he stood tall in front of him, as if he was trying to intimidate him. He slowed down his pace and approached the post slowly. And just as Hiro was about to make a shot, Taki stretched his arms wide. But the ball went down between his legs while he was focusing on his sides. Golo Alal. Chapter 34, Costly Mistake. At 43rd minute of the game, Hiro tied the score with his incredible goal. All of his teammates ran towards him to celebrate the goal as he scored the goal and tied the game. After scoring the goal, Hiro ran towards the sidelines to celebrate his goal and lifted his left arm forward. He then folded the fingers of his right hand while sticking out his middle finger and index finger. And as he stretched his left hand forward, he lowered his head and positioned the fingers of his right hand at his temple. He announced the supporters his arrival by imitating teleportation gesture of Son Goku. Just then his teammates caught up to him and jumped all over him. The supporters of Ukami Elementary School very much enjoyed his celebration and burst out in praises, while the supporters of Rondon Elementary School were fuming in anger. The players of Rondon Elementary School expressed the same feeling as their supporters. They were furious. Pulling off a comeback in the 43rd minute of the game, the coach of Ukami Elementary School was overjoyed with happiness, and so were the supporters of Ukami Elementary School. While everybody were celebrating Hiro's goal, Endo pitifully observed his teammates from the backline. He couldn't bring himself to celebrate the goal. While they were celebrating his goal, the coach of Rondon Elementary School was preparing to make a player change. Beep. The first substitution of the game has come from Rondon Elementary School. They are substituting one of their midfielder for a defender. The game continued with a score of 1-1. As the match continued after that 43rd minute equalizer from Ukami Elementary School, Rondon Elementary School substituted their midfielder for a defender. Their already stuffed defensive line was even more packed with the addition of a new defender. After that equalizer, the defenders of Rondon Elementary School didn't give them any opportunity to score another goal. They completely shut them down every time they went on the offense. Because of the increase in the number of defenders, they were having difficulties in moving the ball forward. While the two forwards of Rondon Elementary School didn't participate in the defense, they still stayed behind the center line, preying on any loose balls, which in turn created another threat for them to pass the ball backwards. The game was neck to neck with both sides unwilling to change their strategy. As if the coach of Rondon Elementary School had instructed them to stand their grounds until the final whistle of the match, they maintained their positions and cleared every potential ball that could have ended up as a goal. The players of Ukumi Elementary School were starting to show signs of frustration and fatigue. Players of Rondon Elementary School were in similar situation as well. They were panting heavily. Every time when they tried to take the ball forward, the defenders of Rondon Elementary School would somehow snatch the ball away from them. But even so, they wouldn't charge the ball forward even after snatching the ball away from them. Instead, they would clear it away. As if their only purpose was to waste time and take the game into penalty shootout, they played very defensively. Just then, at 57th minute of the game, Kozai Otsuka, the defensive midfielder of Ukumi Elementary School, made a costly mistake. While he was preparing to pass the ball towards Akashi, he didn't notice the presence of the forward of Rondon Elementary School behind his back. Garu Sato, the forward of Rondon Elementary School, had been eyeing at the ball while hiding in his blind spot. Oh, that doesn't look good. A dangerous mistake from Otsuka has given the opportunity for the players of Rondon Elementary School to steal the victory. Due to lack of power, the ball from Otsuka stopped midway before it could reach Akashi. Garu Sato, one of the forward of the Rondon Elementary School, was already chasing the ball. He had been hiding his presence since earlier while awaiting for Otsuka to make some mistakes. Since Otsuka remained at the center half most of the time and played as a defensive midfielder, he played as a bridge between the defense and offense of the Ukumi Elementary School. Arg. Shit. Akashi cussed in frustration as the ball stopped midway before reaching him. He ran towards the ball, but before he could reach the ball, Garu Sato, the forward of Rondon Elementary School, who was already chasing the ball even before it was released from Otsuka, reached the ball. TCHO great. Akashi clicked his tongue as he stopped midway. He then began to analyze his options. Once again, he found himself in the same situation as he did previously. He was in a 1v1 situation with Garu Sato once again. The only difference being the lack of support for Garu this time around. With only Endo behind his back, he couldn't trust him to make the save because of his deteriorating performance. Since the start of the match, Endo was performing very badly. Garu Sato, while dribbling the ball towards him, glared at him. Akashi glared him back, but didn't charge forward recklessly. He maintained his position and waited patiently for Garu to make his moves. Having no support, there was only one option available for Garu Sato. He could only dribble the ball forward if he wanted to score. And he did exactly the same. He tried to dribble past Akashi. As he approached closer to Akashi, he kicked the ball forward. He was trying to dribble past him while making use of his explosive pace. Because of his explosive pace, he shook off Akashi easily and left him behind in dust. After dribbling past Akashi, he approached the penalty area. And as he was stretching his legs to shoot the ball, a leg came flying towards him from behind him and swept him on the floor. Beep. The leg belonged to none other than Akashi. Unable to reach him, he performed a sliding tackle at Garu Sato from behind him to prevent him from scoring a goal. That intentional tackle from Akashi prevented Garu from making the shot and also prevented the immediate threat. However, it couldn't prevent him from getting dejected from the game. As Garu Sato fell down tumbling on the ground after getting hit by Akashi's harsh tackle, the referee stopped the play. Everybody could see that the tackle made by Akashi was intentional. And so did the referee. He witnessed his intentional tackle and immediately took a red card out of his pocket. Akashi looked frustrated, but he didn't complain about the decision of referee. He peacefully accepted the referee's decision and began to head out of the field. Sob. Akashi, you. Hiro tried to interact with Akashi. I leave the rest to you guys. Akashi's voice shook as he left the pitch. Even though he tried to hide his tears and act tough, Hiro could notice the tears in his eyes. And so did Endo. He also noticed the tears on Akashi's face. What am I doing? If not for me, he wouldn't have performed that tackle. My poor performance is costing my team the game. Endo comprehended. With that red card, the referee had awarded Rondon Elementary School a penalty. And a penalty at that moment of game would have totally altered the outcome of the game. With only 2 minutes remaining on the clock, that penalty was as crucial for Rondon Elementary School as last drop of water for a survivor in the desert. It's not your fault. You did well. Coach Miura consoled Akashi as he walked outside the pitch. While everybody were questioning about the penalty taker for Rondon Elementary School, Garu Sato stood up and began to walk towards the ball. Garu Sato hadn't sustained any serious injury from that tackle. So it'll still be him, Hiro mumbled. While everybody positioned themselves behind the penalty box, the referee blew the whistle. Garu stared at the ball placed in front of him and started to make his run. With slow and steady steps, he made his run towards the ball, as if he was trying to intimidate the keeper in front of him. Endo, who was determined to correct his mistakes, looked very focused. Peeking at Endo's eyes, Hiro felt something different about him. He then signaled Kyuan to run towards the post as soon as Garu made his shot. Just when Garu began to make his run, Hiro started to run forward. One of the defender of Rondon Elementary School caught a sight of Hiro making the run and began to fall back as well. Garu slammed the ball straight in the bottom left corner of the post. Endo leaped towards the direction of the ball and barely managed to touch the ball. Endo made a brilliant save and stopped Garu's penalty. As the ball touched his gloves, it bounced forward. The players of Rondon Elementary School began to chase after the ball, but it was Kyuan who reached the ball before anyone else could. Just as gestured by Hiro, he had begun to run towards the post the moment Garu made his run, and luckily the ball bounced towards him as well. "Go Hiro!" he yelled as he shot the ball towards Hiro, who was already running forward. Chapter 35. I am here. Kyuan sent the ball flying towards Hiro. Since all the players of Rondon Elementary School except the keeper were gathered for the penalty kick at the defensive half of Ukami Elementary School, there was nobody present in the back line of Rondon Elementary School except the keeper. As Hiro was making his run, the ball flew past him over his head. It landed exactly at the kickoff spot and bounced a little further towards the edge of the circle. He was the first one to reach the ball. Seeing noon in front of his sight, he began to dribble the ball forward. Kurosawa Taki, the keeper of Rondon Elementary School, came out of his box to defend against him. Huff, huff. Hiro began to pant heavily. Because of the intensity of the game, he had exhausted himself from running all over the field. There's a chance for Ukami Elementary School as Hiro has taken control of the ball. Between him and the goal, only the keeper stands in front of him. However, he seems extremely exhausted. He had been running a lot in this match. In fact, nobody has covered as much distance as he did in this entire match. No wonder he looks exhausted. Will he be able to last until the end? Or will he burn out himself and collapse? As he tried to dribble the ball forward, he felt excruciating pain in his legs. His leg muscles started to convulse, and every step he took felt like walking on a path full of thorns. It was clear he was exhausted. System activate skill perseverance, Hiro mumbled. Perseverance activated. For 15 minutes, unlimited stamina has been granted to the host, and the effect of exhaustion will be negated for the entirety of the activation of the skill. Just as the system activated the skill perseverance, all his fatigue started to fade away. He felt rejuvenated, and he began to overflow with vitality. The tired muscle fibers in his body started to recover, and the soreness he felt in his joints faded away. As if he was put under anesthesia, his body became numb to exhaustion. It's my first time activating this skill, but the effect is on another level. I don't feel any fatigue, and it feels like I can run another 15-20 miles. He thought inside his head. However, during the time he was comprehending the effects of the skill, the defender of Rondon Elementary School had caught up to him. He was just behind his heels. Noticing Suzuki Yatsumi, the defender of Rondon Elementary School who was tailing him, approaching him from behind him, he increased his pace and tried to distance himself from him. He thought of kicking the ball forward and chasing after it. But the keeper of Rondon Elementary School was already coming out of his box, and kicking the ball too hard would have meant trouble for him, as the keeper would have cleared it away. He couldn't make full use of his pace with the ball in his feet. Dribbling with the ball meant giving up part of his speed. He kicked the ball with just enough force that he could reach it before anyone else could. Just as he kicked the ball with the precise amount of force for him to reach the ball and was preparing to make a run, Suzuki Yatsumi, the defender of Rondon Elementary School, performed a sliding tackle on him. He didn't even conceal his intention to foul him. Even after the ball was released from his legs, Suzuki Yatsumi still performed a sliding tackle on him from behind him. He wasn't even aiming at the ball, and he was clearly aiming at his feet. Upon getting hit, Hiro fell down tumbling on the ground. Beep. That was a nasty tackle from the number 3 of Rondon Elementary School. He was clearly aiming at his feet. Now show me how you'll run. Atsumi scorned while Hiro was lying on the ground holding his ankle, huffing in pain. Kuro came running towards him and pushed Atsumi. Atsumi was sent flying as he landed on his, but a few distance away from his original place. Other players followed soon, and a fight broke out between the players of Ukami Elementary School and Rondon Elementary School. The field became extremely chaotic within seconds. Security personnel fled towards the stadium to stop those kids from rioting. Just a few minutes before the final whistle, the match between Ukami Elementary School and Rondon Elementary School took a chaotic turn. Never have I ever seen such a heated match between kids. The players are pushing each other, and even the security personnel are forced to intervene. It took a while to separate all those players. Since a lot of players were involved in the riot, referee was forced to bring out his cards on multiple players. He gave Kuro a yellow card for his offense on Atsumi. He showed a yellow card on Taki, who was the second person to arrive at the place where Atsumi fouled Hiro after Kuro. A total of 5 yellow cards were shown to different players from both sides. 2 for Ukami Elementary School players, and 3 for Rondon Elementary School players. And finally, the man who was involved directly in the foul, Suzuki Atsumi. He was shown a straight red card and was ejected from the match. A free kick was rewarded to Ukami Elementary School at the spot where the foul was committed on Hiro, a certain distance away from the circle. Since the free kick was awarded at a distance pretty far away from the goalpost, nobody expected Ukami Elementary School to score the goal. However, the expression on the faces of players of Ukami Elementary School said otherwise. They knew what Hiro was capable of. And since nobody except them had witnessed his free kicks, they were the only ones who believed in that set play. After separating both sides and handing out cards to the respective players who were involved in the riot, the referee sprayed the vanishing spray at the spot where the foul was committed. After that nasty tackle, a free kick has been awarded to Ukami Elementary School. The distance between the goal and the ball is quite far away, so I doubt anybody in their right mind would try to make a shot from that distance. They'll probably pass the ball towards the players standing at the penalty box. I wonder who will be taking this free kick from Ukami Elementary School. I haven't seen them perform any free kick in this whole tournament. As the commentator finished his statement, Hiro walked towards the place where the referee had marked with his vanishing spray. He placed the ball at the marked spot and adjusted the ball while looking at the post in front of him. For players of Rondon Elementary School formed a massive wall in front of him while the others were behind the wall, marking the players of Ukami Elementary School. Almost every player of Ukami Elementary School stood in front of the goalpost awaiting for the ball. Hiro took about 7 steps back and paused. As he paused, he stood straight in front of the ball, glaring at the keeper of Rondon Elementary School. System activate skill focus. System activate talent free kick of Roberto Carlos. He activated every skill he possessed. He didn't want to make any mistakes. That free kick was probably the last set piece of the game. With all his skills activated, he entered the flow. The effect of Roberto Carlos's free kick magnified with the activation of the skill focus. He could see the point in the ball where he could kick the ball to magnify its power and curve. Beep. As the referee blew his whistle, he took a final glance at the ball and began to run towards the ball. Everybody looked at him with anticipation. Unknowingly, the spectators in the stands stood up to watch him perform the shot. The whole stadium went silent as he made his run towards the ball. Step, step, bam. He stretched his right leg while bending at an angle of 45 degrees and shot the ball with as much force as he can. The ball flew like a missile towards the post. At first it seemed like it would go wide. However, due to spin on the ball, it curved inside towards the post as it accelerated. Unlike Endo, Taki was able to react to his shot. Taki leaped towards the direction of the ball while stretching his arms. As he stretched his arms, it grazed the tip of his fingers. Go all goal. Thud. As his body slammed on the ground, he felt a faint sensation of the ball. But even though he touched the ball with the tip of his fingers, he couldn't save the ball. It was simply too powerful for him to block with his fingers. The ball went past him and effortlessly entered the net. The silent crowd burst out in cheers as he scored that unbelievable goal from such a distance. Woohoo! Yeah. With that goal from Hiro, the game was as good as over. There was simply no turning back at that point of the game. With only a minute left on the clock, Ukami Elementary School had secured their victory with that powerful goal from Hiro. Chapter 36 Flickering Ray of Hope. As he scored that goal, Hiro ran towards the stands where the supporters of Ukami Elementary School were seated and celebrated his goal while raising his fist up in the sky and yelling at the top of his voice, "Wah! Yeah! Woo-woo!" The crowd resonated to his victory chant and parroted after him. The whole atmosphere of the stadium lit up as he scored that goal. The game had completely changed after that goal. What are you people doing? Only if you people have jumped, that goal could have been prevented. Just what the hell were you thinking, standing in front of the ball like a mannequin? You're the walls that's supposed to block the ball. The calm and composed goalkeeper of Rondon Elementary School, who was quiet during whole match, burst out in fury and lashed out at his teammates for failing to block the ball. His face turned as red as tomato in anger. There was still a minute left before the final whistle of the match. With a minute and additional time remaining, the outcome of the game had yet to be decided. Finally, Ukami Elementary School have decided to use their substitution cards. It seems like they'll be subbing 3 players at once, and all 3 of them happen to be offensive players. They're subbing their forward and midfielders for defenders. After they finished celebrating their goal, the game commenced with the whistle of the referee. They subbed Kurosaki Kuro and Sohei Sato, the wingers of the Ukami Elementary School, for Yamazaki Kento and Daichi Kamada. And finally, they subbed Asahi Kwan, the central midfielder of Ukami Elementary School, for Ryosuke Ron, who played as a defensive midfielder. As the substituted players made their way towards the pitch, they parroted the instructions of the coach Miura to rest of the players. With those substitutions, they started to play in a formation of 6-3-1 with Hiro as the sole striker. They fortified their defense and were determined to defend their 1-goal lead for the remaining minutes of the game. It was a do-or-die situation for Rondon Elementary School, and they could no longer play defensively. Even though their team was packed with defensive players, the coach of Rondon Elementary School didn't substitute any players. He let the players in the field complete the match. The players of Rondon Elementary School pressed high and showered them with barrage of shots. They didn't give them any moment to rest. But after saving the previous penalty, something had changed in Endo. He put his life on the line and blocked every shot that made its way towards the post. The referee kept on looking at his watch, and as the final minute of the game ended, he added 4 minutes extra. Witnessing their aggressive pressing gameplay, Hiro was forced to drop deep. Garu Sato, the forward of Rondon Elementary School, became even more lethal as the clock ticked. At 63rd minute of the game with only few seconds remaining, he took the matter in his hands and began to dribble the ball all by himself. While dribbling forward with the ball, he encountered Ruan on his way. Ruan blocked his course with his massive body. Ruan was a bit overweight and had a massive body. Garu performed a chop and dribbled past him. Kinto and Kamada followed after Ruan. To cover for Ruan's mistake, both of them surrounded Garu. However, they proved to be inferior against him. Garu performed 2 chops simultaneously with his both feet. He performed a chop with his right feet and dribbled past Kinto. He then again performed another chop with his left foot and dribbled past Kamada. After breaking free from 3 players at once, he found himself in front of the D box. Upon seeing Garu closing the distance towards the post, Indo started to rush forward. Upon seeing Indo coming forward and having Noon on his support, he was left with only 2 options. Either he'd have to shoot or he'd have to dribble past Indo. If it were under any normal circumstances, he'd have picked the later option. But because of the pressure, he chose the first option. While he was stretching his right leg to shoot the ball, the referee glanced at his watch and was preparing to blow the whistle to announce the end of the game. "Come on, Garu. You can do it." The supporters of Rondon Elementary School chanted while looking at him with eyes full of expectation. He was their last ray of hope. The ball hit the top right bar and went out of play. Beep, beep, beep. The referee blew his whistle and ended the game. Woo! Hooray! Yahoo! The supporters of Ukami Elementary School burst out in cheers as the referee blew the final whistle of the game. Ukami Elementary School won the prefectural tournament by defeating the reigning champion, Rondon Elementary School, in the final with a score of 2-1 and booked themselves a spot in the regional tournaments. As the referee blew his whistle, the players of Rondon Elementary School threw themselves in the ground in a state of disappointment and exhaustion. Pain of losing the game overshadowed the pain they accumulated through fatigue. Players from the bench of Ukami Elementary School burst out in the field as their team won the prefectural tournament. Truly unbelievable. The challengers have come out victorious and have dethroned the previous champion of the Tokushima Prefecture. The team of Rondon Elementary School showed us a brilliant performance. However, they still failed to win the match. They came totally prepared, but Soccer Wizard was too much for them to handle. That winning goal from him was totally a piece of art which we may not witness from anyone else in the tournament. The game between the two teams concluded with the victory of Ukami Elementary School. And as they lined up for a last handshake, his gaze once again fell towards Endo and Taki. "I guess you have really forgotten about me. But it's all right now. I'm glad that you are doing fine," Endo exclaimed calmly while showcasing a gentle smile on his face. Previously, when they spoke with each other, Taki had denied the allegations of having met him. When Endo mentioned he was his little brother, Taki blatantly refused the allegations of having any kind of ties with him. That statement alone had broken Endo's heart into pieces. Taki continued to stare at him while holding his hands. Unable to hear any response from him, Endo began to walk away. And just as he was about to leave his sight, he heard something. "Big brother Endo from Children's Cottage Orphanage. You still remember me. You haven't forgotten about me." Endo turned back and gawked in disbelief. His brows raised in surprised arc. He was stunned to hear the name of the orphanage. "Why are you pretending like you've forgotten about me?" "I'm not pretending. I just want to forget about everything from that time at the orphanage. Although I'm grateful for the orphanage and you, I want to live a normal life away from the orphanage. I don't want to remember anything related to the orphanage. And moreover, I don't want to remember that I'm orphan." Taki intoned while looking at him with pained eyes. As if he was suffering from the fact that he was an orphan, he desperately wanted to erase his past. After his adoption, he had managed to successfully erase his past after cutting his ties with the orphanage. However, the appearance of Endo once again reopened his closed wounds. And thus he pretended to be unaware of Endo when Endo tried to converse with him. Even though Endo wanted to maintain his relationship with Taki, he decided to accept his feelings and bid him farewell. After hearing his inner feelings, Endo accepted his feelings and raised his hands towards Taki to offer him one last handshake. "I understand your feelings. I'm just glad that you are doing well. And I guess it might be our last meeting as brothers with each other. So will you allow me to address you as little brother for one last time?" Taki nodded his head and took his hands. "Please take care of yourself and shine brilliantly, my little brother. I'll always be praying for your success," Endo exclaimed softly with a gentle smile on his face. And as he was about to depart, he pulled him closer and hugged him. Taki's heart was filled with the warmth of Endo's genuine smile. However, he couldn't express his feelings and remained frozen at his place. With a heavy heart, Taki observed Endo leaving his sight and vanishing into the crowd of players who were celebrating their victory. Chapter 37 Champions. After sorting things out with Taki, Endo walked towards his teammates who were jumping and humming in joy with a smile on his face. "Did you sort things out with him?" Hiro approached him and questioned him upon witnessing his smiling face. Yeah, we had a peaceful conversation with each other. Endo smirked. I'm glad you sorted things between yourselves. Now let's join the party. Hiro didn't want to pry more on his personal information, and thus he ended his sentence without saying much. What are you two doing over there? Hurry up. The award ceremony is about to begin. Honda-san, who was celebrating the victory with the players, called out for them. Champions, champions. His teammates were gathered in a circle and celebrating their victory over Rondon Elementary School. Congratulations, Ukami Elementary School, for becoming the champion of Tokushima Prefecture. And with this match, the prefectural tournament has come to an end. With this victory, they have booked themselves a spot in the regional tournaments, which will be held a week from today. They'll be up against the winner of Kagawa, Ehime, and Kochi prefectures. Now let us honor our champions. For that, I'd like to request Mayor Yamada to come up to the stage. Suddenly, an obese old man with a silver-arched mustache on his face, dressed in a black suit and leather shoes, made his way towards the pitch from the tunnel. He was the mayor of Tokushima Prefecture. As he made his way towards the pitch, the crowd burst out in cheers. While making his way towards the players, he waved his hands at the spectators. I'd also like to call the owner of Tokushima Vortis to help Mayor Yamada with the prize distribution. Another elderly person dressed in a navy blue suit, with silver hair, made his way towards the pitch. Seeing those two men, the crowds burst out in cheers. They were extremely excited to see the appearance of two famous personalities of Tokushima in the pitch. Those two men exchanged handshakes with each other and greeted each other. After that, they exchanged greetings with the coaches of the two teams. Congratulations, Coach Miura. I must say you've gathered quite an impressive team. The owner of Tokushima Vortis complimented Coach Miura while shaking his hands. There was a hidden meaning behind his compliments, and Coach Miura quickly understood the meaning behind those praises. Indeed, they're a bunch of talented kids that could play for Tokushima Vortis in the future. Coach Miura cheerfully accepted his compliments. If so, I'll be holding on to your words, Coach Miura. Ha ha! The owner of Tokushima Vortis laughed heartily. After exchanging greetings with the respective coaches of two teams, two young ladies who looked like they were still in their early 20s walked towards the field dressed in maroon blazer and skirt. With some light makeup in their faces, they were dolled up. Each carrying a box and a flag in their hands, they walked towards the center of the pitch, where the two famous personalities were gathered. As those ladies were walking towards the center of the pitch, Hiro heard a voice from behind him. Would you look at those Onekins, big sisters? They're really pretty. Akashi smirked while looking at those young ladies. Huh? Where did you learn those words? You shouldn't be saying those stuff at your age. Hiro exasperated. And where were you hiding all this time? Oh, I was at the locker room. I had to fetch something. Akashi dumbfoundedly replied. Weren't you pissed like a moment ago? So how come you're all smiles right now? Hiro intoned. And also, what did you fetch from the locker room? This. Akashi pulled out a black-colored banner from behind his back. He had tucked the banner inside his t-shirt. What's this? The banner confused Hiro. He then curiously took a peek at the banner. It was black-colored banner with a figure of Oni, Japanese mythological demon, drawn in the middle. There were some words written above and below the Oni. The words read as such, Fearless Oni Gang. What? Akashi, what's this? Hiro exasperated. It's a banner, Akashi replied dumbfoundedly. I can see that it's a banner. But why are bringing a gang's banner in the field? It's my grandfather's gang's banner. So I'm displaying it while we take photos. Ha ha, Akashi replied goofily. No, you can't bring this out. The tournament forbids players to display any kind of banners that doesn't belong to the school. Huh, I can't bring it with me. Yes, you can't. So go put it away. Hiro exclaimed. Akashi frowned upon listening to Hiro's words. He contorted his face and started to walk towards the sidelines. Witnessing his sad face, Hiro felt sorry for him. You can take it out later when you'll get a chance to click photo with your grandpa. I'll help you take the pictures. Hiro mumbled. You'll do that for me? Thank you, Hiro. Akashi's mood lightened up as he heard the consoling words of Hiro. The players of Rondon Elementary School started to exit the stadium with empty hands and bitter face. Only the champions of the tournament were awarded with an honor plaque and an honor flag. No medals or trophies were distributed for individual players. Since there were a lot of prefectures in Japan, the Japanese Football Association only provided the winning team with an honor plaque and an honor flag to reward them for their triumph. Individual players weren't awarded with anything for their achievements. Trophies, medals, and certificates were only distributed for the national tournament. Now I'd like to call the coach and captain of Ukami Elementary School in front to receive the honor plaque from Mayor Yamada. At the center of the pitch, Mayor Yamada, along with the owner of Tokushima Vortis and two other young ladies, were gathered. It was a customary tradition for the winner to receive the honor plaque from the hands of the mayor of the respective city. Go, captain. Let's go, coach. And as Coach Miura and Endo made his way towards the center of the pitch where the award was distributed, everybody started to cheer them. The reporters who were at the stadium broadcasting the match rushed towards the center of the pitch to take a better view of the award ceremony. Mayor Yamada unboxed the box which contained the honor plaque and handed it to Coach Miura. Owner Nakamura-san handed the honor flag to Endo. The honor flag was something that was provided to the school who had won the prefectural tournament. And unlike honor plaque, that flag was passed like a baton. Only the winners would get to hold it for the rest of the year. And if they wanted to hold on to it, they'd have to again win the prefectural tournament. And that particular honor flag belonged to Rondon Elementary School the year before. It was a symbol of pride. Even though every player in the Ukami Elementary School performed exceptionally, there was one player who stood out among the rest. Scoring a whopping 14 goals in the tournament, he was the highest scorer in the tournament. And even though he didn't get anything as a reward for his achievement because of the tournament protocol, I'd like everybody in the stand to wake up from their seats and give him a standing ovation. That's the least we can do to show respect to such an unbelievable talent. The commentator requested the crowds to give him a standing ovation for his achievement. And as he finished his sentence, everybody in the crowd stood up. Sniff, sniff. Somewhere in the crowd, a person was seen crying. With eyes full of tears, she held her mouth to cover her sniffing voice. All these people are standing for my little boy. Honey, am I dreaming? Sniff, sniff. Hiro's mother questioned Takashi with eyes full of tears. She couldn't hold back her tears upon seeing so many strangers showing respect to her son. Even though Takashi was on the verge of crying himself, he held his tears and acted tough. With his chest puffed, he proudly replied, "No, honey, it's not a dream. Our son have earned this respect through his actions and hard work." Witnessing such a massive crowd cheering and showing respect to her son, she got emotional and began to weep. It was his first time getting such an ethereal treatment. In his previous life, he was considered a failure, let alone receiving a standing ovation. Aside from the people close to him, he didn't even have a single fan who supported him. Witnessing such a large crowd giving him standing ovation, tears started to form in his eyes. The scene in front made him emotional. "Why are you crying?" Akashi inquired upon seeing his eyes full of tears. He gently wiped the tears from his face and replied, "I'm not crying. It's just I got dirt in my eyes." He tried to hide his tears. Yeah, it must be dirt." Akashi smirked. Chapter 38 Time Skip and Japanese Messy. April 9th, 2019. Ajinomoto Stadium, Chofu, Tokyo. The final match between Ukami Elementary School and Tokyo Elementary School was about to take place in front of a packed stadium. It was a bright and sunny day. The sun was shining brilliantly in the clear blue sky. With few white clouds drifting across the clear blue sky, the average temperature of the day recorded a whopping 33 degrees Celsius. While making his way out of the tunnel, he raised his hands over his temple to shade his eyes from the bright rays of sun and casted a glance at the roaring spectators in the stand. Even in that hot weather, people were shouting and cheering at the top of their lungs. Sweat dripping through their faces were all red. People cheering, drums rolling, the atmosphere around the stadium was extremely lively. Different people exhibiting different kinds of emotions, the crowd looked extremely energetic. Mesmerized by the energetic crowd in front of him, he stood frozen in his place. He couldn't take his gaze away from the crowd in front of him. Slam. "Finally here, right?" Akashi came from behind him and playfully smacked him on his back. "Indeed, we're finally here," Hiro exclaimed while keeping his gaze fixated at the spectators in front. Even though he never got to participate in the Nationals in his previous life, he had always had that dream of playing in the final of Nationals once in his life. Unfortunately, he could never fulfill that dream in his previous life. Let alone play in the finals of Nationals, his team couldn't even qualify for National in his previous life. But since the finals of Nationals were broadcasted nationwide, he used to watch the finals on television. And those energetic chants from the crowds and the emotion-packed dramatic game always mesmerized him in his previous life. "I have been dreaming of this moment for so long, and that dream has finally come true," Hiro muttered in a muffled voice with a smile on his face. "Huh? What did you say?" Unable to hear his words clearly, Akashi bewildering inquired. "Smack. Nothing. I said we should win this tournament this year. And to do that we need to hurry up to the stage first. The last person to reach the circle is the cousin of Monkey. Ha ha ha." Hiro returned back the earlier smack and ran towards the pitch. Akashi chased after him. After failing 4 times previously, his dream of playing in the Nationals was starting to fade away. As depressing as those failures seemed, he didn't lose hope and persevered through the situation. Finally, after persevering through those painful defeats, he made it to the finals of the Nationals in his 5th attempt. The match was taking place in the home ground of FC Tokyo, one of the teams belonging to the first division of Japanese professional leagues. Tokyo Elementary School, being situated in Tokyo, often played practice matches with the youth team of FC Tokyo, and thus Ajinomoto Stadium was like their second home ground. Even though the venue of the final match of Nationals were chosen at random, somehow Tokyo Elementary School had gotten lucky that time around, having an unfair advantage of playing in their own home ground. There were a lot of supporters of Tokyo Elementary School in the stands. An estimated number of 20,000 spectators had showed up for the match between Ukami Elementary School and Tokyo Elementary School. One of the reasons behind the huge crowd was because of the appearance of a famous personality in the crowd. Ukami Elementary School being the winner from the Shikoku region and Tokyo Elementary School being the winner from Kanto region were facing against each other in the final of the tournament after defeating several other regional winners in the nationals. Hiro and Akashi were already in their 5th year of elementary school at that time around, and many of their senior players from the time when they were first years were already in middle school and high schools. Players like Endo, Kuro, Sato, Huan, and many others had already graduated elementary schools. Most of them were still playing football in middle school and high school teams, while few had given up on their dreams of becoming pro. It was totally reasonable for them to give up. After all, that was a dream they dreamt while they were kids. After defeating Rondon Elementary School in their first year, they went on to play regional tournaments and came out victorious from their region. They then participated in the national tournament as a representative team from Shikoku region. Unfortunately, their stay in nationals remained very short, as they were knocked out in the very first round of nationals by Tokyo Elementary School. The same Tokyo Elementary School they were facing in their 5th year. They not only eliminated them, but they also humiliated them by winning the game with a score of 4-1. In their 2nd year, they again managed to defeat the teams in their prefecture and came out victorious from Tokushima Prefecture. However, in the regionals that year, a team from Ehime Prefecture managed to secure a narrow victory over them with a score of 2-1. The game was tied until the last minute. And just before the final whistle of the referee, a boy named Sora with curly hair and short stature managed to secure victory for his teams. He broke the dreadlock between the two teams by assisting a brilliant goal from the defensive half of their team towards the forward at the opponent's half. In their 3rd year, Karasuno Elementary School humbled them with a score of 3-0 in the finals of the prefectural tournament and sent them home empty-handed. Even though they were reaching the finals of the prefectural tournament consistently, they faced a major problem. They were lacking players with winning mentality. The new players which joined their team performed really well in group stages and knockouts. But almost in every big matches, they'd start to get anxious and end up ghosting the game. It's not like that they lacked talented players, it was more like they lacked the players with confidence. And even though Hiro carried his team on his back and performed exceptionally well in all those previously held tournaments, he couldn't lead his team to the ultimate victory all by himself. There was only so much he could do all by himself. The 4th year was no different as well. They were sent home by a team from Osaka in the semi-finals of the nationals. During those 4 years, he scored more than 80 goals in the tournament, more than anyone had ever managed to achieve. Posting videos on YouTube once or twice a month, he garnered a massive fan following of 989K subscribers and earned a decent revenue to support his parents. His fame only continued to rise as he performed well in those tournaments. Some people in Japan even started to compare him with the likes of Messi, Ronaldo, Neymar, Cesc Fabregas, and other generational talent. But while he was growing in Japan, another brilliant individual was also showcasing his talent in the Japanese First Division League. Joining the famed youth development facility of the world, La Masia, at the age of 10, he had impressed the people of the world. Due to legal issues regarding his transfer, he had to return back to Japan in 2015. The same year, Hiro's team won the prefectural and regional tournament and qualified for the nationals. At the age of 15, he was already playing senior-level football in Japan. Many considered him the real jewel of Japanese football. Despite being younger than him, Hiro was often compared with that generational talent of Japan who was showcasing his skill in J1 League. The Wonder Kid of Japan, also known as the Japanese Messi, Take Kubo, was impressing the people with his skillful dribble and gameplay. While the referee was preparing to start the match, Akashi came over to his side to whisper something in his ear. "I heard that Take Kubo is here in the stadium," Akashi whispered. "So what if he's here?" Hiro shrugged him off. Even though he pretended like he didn't care about the presence of Kubo from outside, his inner voice said otherwise. "The generational talent of our nation is here to see us play," he thought to himself. Just like the people of Japan, he also admired Kubo in his previous life. Kubo was only 8 years older than him, but unlike him, he had already performed in Europe. I wonder what he's doing here? He'll probably go on a loan to Yokohama F. Marinos in August. He's probably here right now because he plays for FC Tokyo right now. He thought to himself. Is he feeling threatened about his title? Akashi chuckled. Why would he feel threatened? Hiro replied dumbfoundedly. Obviously because of our soccer wizard. Hara. Yeah. Now go back to your position. And don't blabber much. Watch over Ken, he's a little slow. Hiro instructed Akashi while pointing at the keeper of their team. What about Sasaki and Gen? Akashi questioned. There's no problem with Sasaki. However, I'm worried about General, even though he's not selfish anymore. But under pressure, he starts to get anxious and his old habit starts to take hold of him. So I'm a little worried about him. Hiro exclaimed his worries. Ken, Sasaki, and Jin, who were with them at the senior versus newbies match, had made it into the first team after the departure of several senior players. Chapter 39 Ukami versus Tokyo I. While they were conversing with each other, the referee commanded them to assume their positions so that he could start the match. Let's just play like we practiced. Hiro mumbled as the referee commanded them to assume their positions. Yeah, let's play like we practiced. Akashi nodded his head and started to run towards his position. Before I go, there's something I want to tell you. He stopped midway and returned back towards him. Wondering what he wanted to tell, that sentence of Akashi made him curious. As Akashi approached closer towards him, he looked him in the eyes and smiled. Let's win this game, partner. Hiro nodded his head and raised his fist forward. Yeah, let's win. As they clashed their fist with each other and performed a fist bomb, Akashi fled towards his position. Hiro stood tall in front of the ball. He was already 4 feet 7 inches tall at the age of 10. With a sturdy lean body like that of Sergio Busquets, his body was well-toned. Neither too bulky nor too skinny. He was dressed in the iconic black jersey of Ukumi Elementary School with a captain armband tied around his left biceps. After the departure of Endo from the team, he had been appointed as the captain of the team by the coach of Ukumi Elementary School. Beep. The referee blew the whistle and commenced the start of the match. Ukumi Elementary School were playing in their traditional 4-4-2 diamond formation with Hiro as their attacking midfielder. They had opted for a balanced formation with emphasis on both defense and offense. On the other hand, Tokyo Elementary School were playing in an extremely offensive formation. They were playing in 3-4-3 formation. With 3 attackers and 4 midfielders, everybody could guess that they were going to play an offensive game. Hiro kicked the ball towards Sasaki, the 5th-year defensive midfielder of Ukumi Elementary School. The opponent players of Tokyo Elementary School dressed in red and white jerseys began to scatter as the match commenced. Since they had already faced against them previously, they focused on stabilizing their position rather than pressing aggressively from the get-go. Thus they began to pass the ball among themselves. Even though Tokyo Elementary School played a very pressing game from the get-go, most of the time they ended up losing the control of the ball at the middle third of the pitch. While keeping the distance between them fairly close, the players of Ukumi Elementary School stuck together in certain geometric patterns. Since Tokyo Elementary School relied more on their physicality rather than technicalities, the forwards of Tokyo Elementary School always tried to break free from the clutches of Ukumi Elementary School by making use of their strength and agility. Every time when the opposing player of Tokyo Elementary School got the ball at the middle third of the pitch, the players of Ukumi Elementary School immediately surrounded that player, leaving him no place to escape. While maintaining a certain distance away from each other, they kept pressuring the opposing player with the ball every time when an opponent player got the ball in the middle third of the pitch. In order to prevent making costly mistakes, only their forward chased after the ball in the defensive third of the opponent. At 27th minute of the match, Kaminari Shinji, the left wing of Tokyo Elementary School, got the ball in his feet at the left side of the half line. Nanahoshi Ron, one of the newly recruited central midfielder of Ukumi Elementary, chased after Kaminari Shinji as soon as he got the ball in his feet. Kaminari Shinji tried to make use of his agility to break free from Nanahoshi Ren, but Nanahoshi Ren didn't give him any opportunity to shake him off. Unable to shake him off via his agility, he thought of making use of his strength and tried to break free from Nanahoshi Ren by pushing him aside. But Nanahoshi Ren stood his ground and endured his shoulder pushes without breaking any sweat. Ark, why can't I budge him? Kaminari Shinji exasperated while trying to push Nanahoshi Ren. Despite his lean body, Nanahoshi Ren was as sturdy as mountain. The secret behind his sturdiness wasn't some kind of supernatural power, instead it all lied in his technique. Whenever Kaminari Shinji tried to push him, he'd intentionally increase the distance between his feet and push him before Shinji could come at him with full force. Both players equally matched in terms of speed and physicality. Kaminari Shinji couldn't shake off the mark of Nanahoshi Ren. Unable to shake him off, Kaminari Shinji started to look for other options to break free from the marking of Nanahoshi Ren. He looked at Mizuhara Aoi, the center forward of Tokyo Elementary School, but he was being marked by Sasaki, the defensive midfielder of Ukumi Elementary School. He then again glanced behind him to see if anyone was available, but Hiro was already marking the player behind him. He then looked at his right side in hopes of finding one player free from the tight man marking of Ukumi Elementary School. Sada Rin, another central midfielder of Ukumi Elementary School, was already occupying the space in the center of the pitch. He found himself secluded between 4 players of Ukumi Elementary School. Sasaki in the front, Hiro in the back, Rin in the side and Rin in front of him. He was inside the triangular space created by the players of Ukumi Elementary School. The more he tried to break free, the more he found himself trapped. Unable to break free, he started to get anxious. He then started to dribble the ball forward without thinking anything. After trying countless times, he finally managed to shook of the mark of Nanahoshi Ren by tricking him with body feints. Ha ha ha, you thought that you could block me. Try again next time, he thought as he broke free from the mark of Nanahoshi Ren. Just then Sasaki stole the ball from him. He had been so much occupied with Nanahoshi Ren that he forgot about the existence of Sasaki in front of him. Sasaki gave away an excellent through pass to Hiro. Hiro, without controlling the ball, passed the ball towards Ichijo Ryu, the newly recruited first-year forward of Ukumi Elementary School. The ball rolled towards the penalty box. The keeper of Tokyo Elementary School ran towards the ball to clear it away. Seeing the keeper approaching, Ichijo Ryu tried to trick the goalkeeper by faking a shot. The goalkeeper of Tokyo Elementary School stretched his legs to make the stop. Just as the keeper stretched his legs, he tapped the ball lightly and made a turn. With the keeper lying on the ground, nothing stood before him in the goal. He tapped the ball lightly towards the goalpost. Suddenly, the keeper of the Tokyo Elementary School stretched his arms and touched the ball. Even though the keeper was on the ground, he wasn't beaten yet. Due to that deflection of the keeper, the ball went out of bounds. Even though they failed to score a goal, the referee awarded them corner kick. It was already 32nd minute of the match. While the ball was in play, the referee had already added additional time. And even that additional time had already passed by the time they were awarded the corner kick at the end of the first half. Hiro walked towards the corner flag to take that corner kick. For that final corner kick of first half, all of the players except the keeper of Ukami Elementary School gathered in front of the goalpost of Tokyo Elementary School. Hiro kicked the ball long and high. The ball was heading away from the goalpost. It was heading outside the penalty box. When everybody assumed that the ball would go out of bounds and referee would blow his whistle, a silhouette of a person became vivid at the place where the ball was going to land. That silhouette belonged to none other than Akashi. As the ball was about to land, he shot the ball in midair and hit a brilliant volley from outside the box. The ball went like a missile towards the post. Unfortunately, the ball hit the bar and went out of play. And as the ball went out of play, the referee blew the whistle, signaling the end of the first half. Unable to open the scoresheet, the first half ended in a goalless draw. That was an amazing volley, Akashi-senpai. Ichijo Ryu complimented Akashi as they made their way towards the locker room. If only that volley would have ended in goal, it would have been the best goal of the tournament. Cough, cough. Did you guys already forgot about my bicycle kick against the team from Fukushima? Hiro interrupted as he heard Ichijo Ryu mentioning about the best goal of the tournament. The game progressed rather smoothly for the entirety of the first half, with both sides getting fair amount of shots on target. Chapter 40, European Agent. While they were goofily making their way towards the locker room, his eyes wandered at the crowds, and suddenly, he caught a glimpse of a familiar person at the seat above the tunnel. Witnessing the sight of someone familiar to him, he paused midway all of a sudden to take a better look at the person. What are you doing over there? Hurry up, or else the coach will scold you. Akashi spoke while looking at him and interrupted him. I thought I saw somebody familiar in the stand. He got distracted by Akashi and couldn't see the person clearly. Once again, he looked at the seat where he witnessed the sight of the familiar person. But that seat was occupied by a girl with blonde hair and white skin. Is it a girl? Akashi chuckled as he made his way towards Hiro. He then started to look at the stands in front. Oh, your taste is truly unique. I didn't expect you to be interested in foreigners. No, it's not her. There was another person sitting in that seat. Hiro tried to reason with Akashi. Yeah, and that person happened to be a white blonde chick. Ha ha ha. But Akashi kept on teasing him. Akashi-senpai, are you a part of the gang? Keiji Togashi, second-year defender of Ukami Elementary School, interrupted them from behind. No. Which idiot told you that? Akashi erupted as he heard the statement of Togashi. Nobody did. It's just you speak like a gangster, and you dress up like one too. Togashi stammered and took a step back in fear. Most of the times Akashi spoke in gangster slangs. Already 4 feet 11 inches tall at the age of 11, he was a year older than Hiro. And because of his appearance and the manner of speech, people often mistook him for gangster. PFT haha. Yeah right, he's a member of a gang. A very dangerous one. You might have heard the name of the gang, Fearless Oni Gang? Hiro chuckled. Togashi nervously shook his head. So I was right. You are indeed a member of a gang. Togashi exclaimed in fear. No, I'm not a gangster. Just stop scaring him already and stop joking, Hiro. You might mislead him this way. Akashi exasperated and began to stare at Hiro as if he would swallow him alive. Okay, don't look at me like that. I was kidding, okay? Ha ha ha. He's not a member of a gang. It's just his grandfather used to be one of the Yakuzas in his younger days. Akashi here is just a normal student. Hiro reassured Togashi that he was only joking about the things he said earlier. Okay, now let's head to locker room, or else Coach Miura will eat us alive. What are you looking for, uncle? The girl with blonde hair exclaimed while looking at a man in his early 30s, bending down in his seat, scavenging for something beneath the seat he was seated. Arg. There it is. My notebook. Just how the hell did it reach that far? The man was looking for his notebook, which he accidentally dropped during the time of the game. He was struggling to reach his notebook. Note, uncle, please speak in English. While the girl was speaking in English, the man was speaking Japanese. The blonde girl was having difficulties understanding the man's words. He stretched his fingers to reach his notebook, which had somehow fallen beneath his seat. Just as he reached his notebook, he stood up and began to dust his clothes. Do they not clean the stadium at all? The man exasperated as he was dusting his clothes. All right, what were you saying? Oh yeah, I forgot that you don't understand Japanese very well. Haha, I'm sorry about that. The man apologized goofily, forgetting that he was still speaking Japanese. Please speak in English, uncle. The blonde girl exasperated. Was I speaking in Japanese again? Ha ha ha, my bad. Sorry. Sorry. Even though he was apologizing to the girl in front, it was clear from the way he spoke that he wasn't even sorry for his mistake. Where are the players? Ugh. Did you already forget that it's halftime? You're right. I forgot about it. Hara. Just how the hell did you even manage to be a licensed agent in Europe with that clumsy attitude of yours? The blonde girl intoned as she witnessed the clumsy attitude of the man in front, while contorting her face in disbelief. She was clearly annoyed by his clumsy behavior. Having majored in sports science, the man she was talking to was one of the lesser-known agents of Europe. Born from a Japanese mother and British father, he was one of the youngest licensed agents in Europe. Though still not famous, he would go on to manage world-class players in the near future. Dressed in a set of Hawaiian shirt and shorts, he had a sun hat on top of his head. With a shade of sunglasses covering his eyes, he was dressed in a way that seemed like he was on a vacation. With brown eyes, sharp nose, and chiseled jaw covered with patches of golden beard, one could hardly believe that he was already in his 30s. Just you wait and see my niece Luna. I'm going to be the best agent with the best player under his wing one day, and everybody's going to remember the name Eric Parker. Ha ha ha. He laughed maniacally while announcing his name. All of a sudden, there he goes again, lost in his own delusional fantasies. And just how many times do I need to tell him to speak in English? Ugh, leave it. I don't even care now, Luna exclaimed in her muffled voice. She was clearly annoyed by his behavior. However, since she had seen that side of him several times already, she didn't even bother to explain her annoyance to him. She was already fed up of his self-indulging behavior. Luna was the only daughter of Eric's elder brother Kevin Parker. Born and raised in England, she didn't know any Japanese. Since her mother belonged to a British origin, everybody conversed in English in her home. And the only time she heard Japanese was the time when she visited her grandmother's place and when her father conversed to her grandmother. Since her grandfather had already passed away in his early 60s due to heart condition, her grandmother lived all by herself. Both Eric and Kevin offered her to move in with them several times, but she rejected them each and every time they asked her. And every time when she asked her why she didn't want to move in with either her father or her uncle, her grandmother always replied that the home she resided reminded her of her beloved husband. Also, Eric and Kevin normally talked to each other in English. She could rarely hear them converse in Japanese. That's why her Japanese was very weak. Just why are we even here, uncle? Luna questioned Eric, who was still laughing maniacally. Eric paused as he heard her voice. He then perplexingly looked at her and replied, "Don't you know that already? We're here to visit your grandmother's homeland." "Yeah, I do know about that. But what are we doing here in a kid's game? This is one of the biggest school-level competition in Japan. And you're asking what are we doing here? Also, you're a 16-year-old kid yourself. So what right do you have to call this kids? Eric began to blabber without stopping. "Don't call me kid. I'm already a grown-up. I'll soon leave the house for university after I complete my high school in few years and live independently." Luna exasperated. "Also, why are you scribbling on your note? Are you here to recruit some players?" Luna continued. "Hell no. Why would I recruit Asian players? With all due respect to Asian players, they are not talented enough to make us huge money. They don't get signed for huge amount of money in European markets. And if they're not signed for huge amount of money, I can't make money. So no, I'm not here to recruit players." Eric sternly declined her claims. Since Eric believed that Asian players were not up to par with European or South American players, he had never ever considered, even in his dream, to recruit any Asian players. Also, since the market value of Asian players were not too high in European markets, he couldn't make money out of Asian players. Thus, he avoided signing any Asian players. And him being there was pure coincidence. He just coincidentally happened to be in Tokyo around the time of the final. And since he had a lot of free time, he went to the stadium just to enjoy the match and get entertained. However, even when merely spectating the match, he couldn't control himself from noting the details of players in his notebook out of his habit. He wasn't noting their playstyle to recruit them. In simple terms, he wasn't there to recruit or scout players. He was only there to enjoy the game as a spectator.